The planning board hereby grants site plan approval to the project, authorizes the chairperson or her authorized designee to sign the site plan set after compliance with the following conditions. 1, payment of all fees in escrow. 2, approval from the Hudson
Authorizes the
Board of
chairperson
Appeals
or her authorized designee to sign the site plan set
Thank you, Randall.
of an area variance for the proposed building height of 49 feet 3 inches, exceeding the permitted 45-foot limit. Planning board engineer approval of the detailed underground retention system layout, proof of completion of Verizon's removal of the underground cable, and planning board attorney approval of all neighboring grading access easements for retaining wall, site construction, and evidence of recording same with the Columbia County Clerk. So I don't know, do you have any other, do you have any other conditions?
Doing two years.
Got a question.
No, I'm just trying to hear you, but I'm also hearing the background noise.
Yeah.
Can it be turned down a little tad bit, or are we?
That's the
That's the
firehouse.
fire.
Oh, that's it, okay.
Yeah, there's a foot along.
So the important thing here is that the applicant still needs an area variance, and so if they don't get it, they'll have to come back and modify this plan. So, you know, they're taking the risk here that they're gonna get it.
Zoning board is.
Oh, no, immediately.
Okay, great.
Yes.
It's on there.
Can we act upon it without the ZBA approval
So normally, we don't like to do it, but
as a condition?
As a condition.
here they're taking the risk that if they don't get it,
We can together.
they have to come back.
Okay.
And it doesn't really affect my site layout because it's tight.
I mean, yeah, normally it's something we don't want to do, but a lot of people on board.
Okay, move on.
Okay, so that's how I read it. If there's no questions, you can. Mhm.
Can I get a resolution to approve?
A motion.
Are you making that
Motion.
motion?
No, a motion.
Yes,
Second.
I'm making a motion.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, so.
Okay. I'm gonna send this to.
Is this gonna be in your way?
Yeah, just one.
Well, I don't need it.
Is Linda on now?
If you'll need it, then. Yeah, we're on.
No, it's Linda, send it to me.
Yeah. put it in.
I'm just trying to do something, man.
So quiet.
Sign off.
Okay. Okay, can I get a motion to open the public hearing for 59 North Front Street? Heights Nest.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
All in favor? Any opposed? It's 59 years.
Hey, everybody, I'm David, I'm the owner's rep for Kite Sense. Should be back. This is our 10th time on this project at the planning board. You all also had a site visit with us back in 2003. This is the 6th time in a row that we've been in front of you since we reopened our conversations with you in our 3rd public hearing. We have approval secured from SHPO regarding archaeological and environmental and historic impacts on the site. We have approvals from the DEC around our water plan.
Okay.
We have
Yeah,
approvals from DEC around impact on vegetation and endangered species potential on the site. We have letters of support from the chief of police, from the mayor, from the Department of Public Works. We have a traffic study that has come to a place of no comments and no additional feedback from you. Parking study and no additional comments. We have a HEC-RAS report showing flood and water infiltration that has been cleared by the engineer. We have done 12 shallow and 6 deep perk tests along the site. We know a lot about the land and what's going on there. We've also done 15 geotechnical well bores through the site, so we know what underground looks like, not field. We have submitted a whole new set of drawings to the engineer, which have a handful of notes which we believe are, I think Chris could speak to it, but most of them are very, very small and require It's a little bit of clerical cleanup. There's one comment around adding a landing pad for the sidewalk on the other side of the street that we talk about. We're also here hopeful to close the public hearing, to move on to the secret review and to get your approval.
Wasn't there a question about, the parking?
Did you guys submit an updated parking study? I know the board asked
We did
about the
actually.
parking spaces that were on the adjacent lot.
Yeah.
That's not been resubmitted.
Yeah, so the parking study never had any information or ever at any point relied on parking on the eastern parcel. So if you had reviewed the parking report, all of our parking can be accommodated on the street and elsewhere without relying on the eastern parcel. So the concern was that we were like double counting those spots, but in fact, we never relied on those spots in our parking report ever.
Do you have a map in the report showing where all your parking spaces are?
I believe we do. Justin, can you verify? Yeah,
Is there?
Yeah.
I did look at personally, I'm a traffic engineer review it.
yeah, that's fine. Yeah, it was cleared through your office and we've never relied on parking in the eastern parcel. It had come up that you all, like, as a conversation, as did sidewalk on the eastern side, and many things have come up in our conversations together, but the report that we submitted doesn't rely on, and it shows that there's plenty of capacity on the street to park without relying on the eastern parcel. Because the eastern parcel is not part of this application.
But if they use the parking, then that part becomes part of it, so,
I'm gonna push through it right now.
okay.
Yeah, please double
You
check.
found it?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I can hear, because I can hear people coming in and out, yeah.
You know,
Any questions from the planning board other than, wow, Christian reviews? Any questions from the public? For, 59, no? Front Street? Nobody has questions? Review, because we did ask for that. Thank you.
Is there anything outstanding in this that we should be commenting about? I don't know what we comment about. I'm just curious, is there something the planning board's debate that you're debating about this proposal? Like, for instance, the traffic or anything, or the parking? I'm just wondering if it's, so I would know if I want to. I don't know what.
The question
what's going
before the
on.
board at this moment is whether their parking study and analysis addressed all the comments from Barton and the Judas.
Right, and he's looking at it. I mean, here we have a
You've had the
development
report.
coming up where you're going to have anywhere between 150 to how many people? 300 maybe?
So we. all
Down
this-
there at one time, but 150?
And does it?
How many
just
was
a
it?
friendly reminder that it's mostly children who arrive by.
Okay,
foot
but how
or
many,
by
when you
bus.
have your events, you said it was an educational center, so what are we talking about here?
Stipulated.
The 100
Project narrative, which was reviewed.
Well, we could do it, yes, and make it authorized. For them.
that would get them started.
Okay,
All right,
do you want to pull up that checklist again, Randall?
yeah.
So if the board is ready, we could go through the checklist, we could complete seeker, we could close the hearing, and then you could direct me to have a resolution ready for the
I
next
had a
meeting.
question.
Oh, we're gonna answer your questions, yeah.
I want to know how many people are coming in. Do we have that number?
Yeah, all those numbers, you've had those numbers.
I understand, but I
for
want,
Yeah.
can somebody bring it up now? That's what I just asked a question about.
Can somebody bring up the Union Co-op narrative?
I got it.
On the site that's been posted there.
I could do that. Let's see for you guys.
Parking, that one's gone.
Oh,
So that's why I wasn't really aware.
okay, so we can, but we can, yeah, look, you can do it.
Well, you can get the secret done and then authorize a resolution for approval from the committee.
So if you want to see
That's
the
what-
narrative,
Okay, we can move on that way because we are, kind of, so we'll just do the sequel tonight if it's, okay with the board. And then come back to that after it's reviewed and send a review to us from us or something. Okay.
Hi, I would just like to make a comment.
Okay.
I think there's much less parking concern for this project than for the hotel.
And I understand that, that may be that's your concern, but my concern is slightly different. And that's why I'm asking for it. And we're gonna let our consultant review it and get back to us. Okay?
I have the information you're looking for.
I know, but he's gonna review it. It's all there and let him review and we'll get back. Right now, we're gonna just seek on
The
him.
number of people you're asking?
Yeah,
for?
what did they say, 150?
Yeah, that's the information
Yeah.
I have.
That's
pulled up.
right,
No, it
that's
doesn't say 150. It says it is generally expected that the number of employees and students will peak at 52. So 8 employees and 44 students during the hours of 3 to 6 during the school year. And 10 to 3 during the summer, spread across both properties. Special events will be limited throughout the year and will not exceed the maximum allowable occupancy, which is 136 persons. And that would be a handful of times a year.
Okay,
They also say there's 11 cars needed and there's 13 available on even days and the odd spaces are 37. Available spaces. So there's enough cars parking down.
where? On the other side? Where are they
On
parking?
Dock Street, on State Street,
On
on Front
Street,
Street.
okay.
Dog Street?
on street,
Yes,
On
Street.
Dock Street, on Front Street, and on State Street.
Dog Street.
that's it from street.
And from there's a car parking over there, I didn't know they had a sidewalk over there.
No, you don't need a sidewalk.
You don't need a sidewalk
You
parking.
need a sidewalk.
So they have parking.
There's room for parking, yes.
There is not a map that shows where all the spaces are.
Right, so we need a,
Yeah, well, we're not gonna rely.
Please.
So, but I appreciate.
Not a problem.
Yeah, there's just a statement made that those spaces are available. There's no like map showing where all those spaces are,
and we,
actually spelling them out. If it's a concern for boards. And that's something they want.
I've been on Dog Street.
It always is like
Did
a
it
lot
say-
of parking down there.
There's no sidewalks and there's
Is there
plenty
parking
of room for
there?
parking.
There's parking?
Yeah, both sides, yeah.
Okay,
And Dock Street really isn't that
No,
travel.
no.
I just want to make sure
It's
there's
wide,
parking.
and it's a wide street.
Okay.
So if you wanna go over seeker again,
Okay.
the short form list, here we go.
Well, yeah, did we open the hearing for,
What'd
Yeah,
you say?
so it's still,
so do you want to keep the hearing open or do you want to close it?
Does anybody else have any comments?
anybody have anybody else from the board has any questions?
Okay, it's the case.
Than the one I just asked? Okay, how about
Yeah.
from the public?
I'm good.
Okay,
Okay, so if you, if,
I'll close it.
You need a motion?
that there'll be,
Motion to close it.
let me finish talking.
Okay.
Thank you.
I think we're done.
No, I know. If, okay, you want to get, let's get, so is everybody satisfied with that? Because I did have a concern with that. That was a big concern of mine. Where were people in the park when they have their events? It is semi-residential with the terrace being over there. And then, other things that's coming that way, and it just, parking is an issue, and I just want to make sure that your project, just because you're having an event, everybody else has to just, and people don't park up. And they made a scallop of parking on Front Street that took a lot of parking also, so. But Dock Street, I go by what Gene says, he's been doing this the longest, and if it's that big, I haven't been on that street. I know it's wide, but I didn't think it was any parking on that street, I've never seen a car on there.
It's not good.
Just,
It's not forbidden.
appreciate your concern.
Mhm, very concerned.
We do currently use the site to conduct our youth program, so it's not a very different use. So we already are familiar with the parking that we currently use, and there's never been, I've never had an experience with
not being able.
I understand, but you're bringing in a new, building that's gonna bring in more people to the area, you know, and they're not gonna walk.
We're actually serving the same community of young people. from-
Not when you have your events, though.
Right, but we still.
And that's what I'm
we
concerned
currently
about.
have events.
But you can't hold that many people, 132, can you?
Yeah, we do.
In the
outside.
building that you have now?
We have events outside of that.
Oh, outside. Okay.
So it's the same number of.
But you can't hold that many people.
It's not a different.
In the building that you have.
So I'm aware of what it looks like when it's very full, down in that area, Dog Street is flexible. Nobody's ever gotten into enemies where in that whole area. And we've never had a complaint from, because the residents have their own private parking.
And
And
Steve,
that's-
that's something that we had asked for you to make it so that we can see the same thing that you see. That's what I'd asked for. You're telling it to me and I wanted you to make it so that I can agree with that. Okay, so
And
by,
we did-
yeah.
we did the
So,
first
and yeah, we see it now and, you know, we're in agreement now, but
I just want to add that there's a parking study area figure in the report. It doesn't call out specifically parking spaces, but it outlines which streets were included in that study.
and Dock Street was included.
You should be-
All right. So does the planning board, and we do things here by majority rule or anonymously, or I mean, unanimously. So do you want to close the public hearing for, they've got a lot of things though. Christian, what do you say?
It's a lot of minor cleanup issues that need to happen on the plans. You know, you still are not approving the site plan, so I would say you're probably.
Yeah, it's just that when we close these issues with so many conditions,
Sorry,
we
what are
lose
the
touch
conditions?
of
What are the
them. They don't
conditions
pay
right now
the
that-
escrow, they hardly get in touch with.
What are the conditions we're concerned about right now?
Everything that Christian had given you that hasn't been addressed.
But
yet.
we could take care of seeker tonight, potentially.
Yeah,
Or
can you
right.
talk about the substantive issues that you're concerned about tonight?
There's nothing really there's a lot of little cleanup issues.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think there aren't any actually, Teresa, and I'm seeking your full approval tonight because I think that they're not substantive issues.
There's gonna be approval with some conditions.
That's totally fine. They can be conditional approval, but I'm seeking planning board's approval for us to begin this project tonight.
I thought
Well,
we
when
were
we're, oh, go ahead.
I thought we were just voting on closing the public hearing. Are you saying that you're ready?
No, we don't have a resolution for them.
I don't have a resolution prepared for that. I can have it prepared for your special meeting at the end of the month. If you want to move that forward, we can do seeker tonight, or, I mean, we can just do a motion by voice vote, but then we have to sit and we need to work out all the outstanding lists.
I was,
Yeah.
I was just
No,
misunderstanding.
no, that's exactly what we were.
Well, let me ask this,
Saying,
how many items do we have that would be on the conditions if we approve the condition list?
yeah, that was our plan to approve it, just to maybe close the public hearing to see.
I'm pressing because this
He's pressing.
project has funding that's tied to it, that if we delay any further, the funding will be lost. And this project is contingent on public funding to be successful. We've already been here, that's why I started with my little speech about how many times we've been here. And
Right.
we had these documents in front of you for you to review from many, many weeks.
A lot of people come here a lot of times, but a lot of it's based on the quality of the work. So I just want to say,
That's true.
you know, the fact that you're coming back sometimes
That's-
you're not giving the board what the
I'm
corrections they ask
glad
for.
you said that.
But
Goodness.
that being said, I think everyone wants to find a way to move forward. So what exactly is your funding deadline?
Our funding deadline is we need all our permits in place, including building permit,
Mhm.
by December. So we need you now so that we can get to Craig next month, so that we can get our building.
The reason I'm asking is because the board has a special meeting scheduled for 2 weeks.
Okay,
The
Um,
28th, right? 28th.
is it 3 weeks?
Yeah, 28th.
So for the 28th, which might be less of a rush so we can actually have a thought out resolution with all the right conditions.
And
But it's up to the board. We could cobble it together tonight now too.
What were the,
There's 15 or 16 different engineering comments that are outstanding.
can you tell me, can you just go through them, please?
that he sent a letter.
There's a lot, if you look at my letter. it'll
No,
go
it's
through.
so that he understands and we all
He got
understand
the
what's
letter.
up.
Yes, the letter.
the plant count is different between the schedule.
Correct, but every one of those has to be
One of-
conditioned on the plan, on the
I
resolution.
understand, but this did talk about the weight of those comments and how challenging they would be for us to resolve.
But is it possible that, you know, you can work on those by next?
Of course, we can work on them and we will work on them and continue to work on them. We're seeking your approval so we can move on and the project won't be adjusted.
When did he issue that letter? When did he get that letter? Last when?
Oh, what's that?
When?
10 days.
10 days ago.
And you're saying, so today, do you have all the answers for those conditions?
We've received
Oh, no, the comments
yesterday.
went
Yeah.
yesterday. Got
That's what I wanted to know.
We got
Okay.
the comments yesterday. We weren't able to turn around new drawings for tonight,
Okay.
but we understand what those comments are. We've discussed them with our engineer.
Okay.
We attempted to contact Christian today to discuss them with him also. We weren't able to get him on the phone, but the comments, the nature of the comments is very minor. I think Chris just agreed with that and
And well, that's why we can close the public hearing and go to the secret, but, you know, as far as approving it. We have to, they're all gonna go on they're all gonna go on the resolution with the conditions. And that's just,
yeah.
you know, it's just,
I'm
we're trying to get away from approving things with that many conditions. We would really like to approve it with about 4 or 5.
Well,
We lose touch of the people.
may I ask something like? If you are on the agenda for October 28th, do you feel that you would reasonably able to address most of those conditions, those minor conditions? And get them cleaned up, or you feel like you need more time? than that?
our engineer's nodding his head. So, yeah. I think
It's nodding this way.
Yeah.
So
it's-
why, at that point, we'll have something very thorough, it'll be well thought out. I would think that would be,
But that's it is
It's-
a difficult place. So I hear you and I appreciate
it's
that.
another
Yeah.
14 days.
So what do you have to
Okay.
do between now and December? You have to go to Craig with it.
Yeah, we still need to go through Craig Haig and
What's that?
and building department reviews, which is gonna be.
How long does that normally take?
Could take a while.
Well, maybe you
Already
could,
had a lot of meetings
maybe you
with
could
him
push
and
him.
the project.
Push him right.
So one thing
But
I know,
it's-
sit down.
One thing we could
This
do,
is taken.
it's not good practice,
Let's
Good
not do it.
practice.
Let's not do it.
but, okay,
Let's
Well,
not
can
do
we
it.
hear?
Wait.
hear what it
You
is?
can hear, but you know, we don't want to do not good practices.
okay.
We've got a lot of things on our board, a lot of things that approved that we can't, we're not in
Can we hear
contact
an
with the
idea?
people.
Yeah.
You're gonna hear it, but let me finish, okay? You're gonna hear it. You know, I just don't want us to continuously get into things that's going to bind this board up. Okay, go ahead.
No, I understand. I'm just saying, given the circumstances, one thing we could do is we can go through seeker closing hearing. You could approve it based on the condition that they satisfy each and every comment in Christian's October 13th, 2025 letter. And then I can write that up in a resolution for you to adopt in 2 weeks. So
On
they can
28th.
So
move
by the
forward.
28th.
Oh, well, listen, okay.
Yeah,
But we could do that tonight, and then you can kind of, we'll have a more formal resolution for the 28th. I don't know what the 2 weeks gets you, but you're acting,
I'm not sure.
Does that mean that they'll get approval tonight?
it means it's conditional.
conditional. The same thing they would get next, in 2 weeks.
Until they make these edits.
Totally,
But
yeah,
with conditional approval, can you go to Craig?
for sure. Yeah, that would.
You're
No.
not supposed to.
You
Yeah,
can't
no,
go to
you
Craig until
can't.
Teresa signs the plans, which require you to make all these.
And
changes.
that's what's happening now, and I told you that.
Okay.
A lot of
so
people are taking these resolutions and going to
That's
Craig.
why I'm saying I don't think it.
We just can't
but
continue to do that.
You can't go to Craig until you've met these conditions and Teresa has
Should we
signed.
just give somebody conditional approval and Teresa's gonna sign it for the applicant prior to ours?
Yeah, but
She's
they're
gonna
not
sign the
going.
resolution.
Yeah, but that's,
But she has to sign the plans when the conditions are met.
and that's when you go to Craig.
So there's
Okay,
a period of time. It means you don't have to come back to the full board.
Okay.
But
that would be great, but we don't have to come back.
Yeah, so if you have a clean resolution,
Yeah, that's fine.
you get a signed plan that night or the next day.
Right.
And no one yet has had that.
So, so are we, let me back up for a second so I can make sure I understand this. Been working on not too much sleep. Okay, so what I think I'm hearing is that perhaps tonight we are going to do secra, but we're based on certain conditions that he must meet. And his engineer says he can have them done within 14 days. Did I hear that? By the 28th, that's 14 days.
He gets them done a few days before that. Christian can review it, confirm it's complete, and then Teresa can sign after. the
And then
meeting.
you can do the, okay.
But if we do it in 3 days, you could review it, we could sign it and have it
Well,
in
that's,
5 days, right? I mean, that's how that would, do I understand that, right?
Does it have to happen at the special meeting if it only requires Teresa's signature?
No.
So as soon
No.
as you get it done.
Okay.
That
Right.
puts it
Could
back on
happen.
us, that would be sweet.
Okay.
That's if we close the public hearing
That's
Yeah,
if
we'll
you
see
do that.
and then do a conditional approval.
so why don't we
Okay.
start with the sequel, and
Okay.
then we'll move forward?
Okay, the first, you want to do the sequel before the close the public
Close
hearing?
public.
Yeah, close the public hearing.
Okay, can I get a motion to close the public hearing for 59 North Front Street?
I make a motion to close.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, the public hearing is closed. Now we can do the sequel for 59 North.
Okay. You want me to talk through it again?
Oh, see, that's what I'm saying. I
I
think
think
this
it's-
one is gonna
Okay.
be much longer,
This
right?
action create a material conflict with an adopted land use plan or zoning regulations.
Yeah,
It's, I mean, it's permitted by the zoning, so I would say it's not a material conflict, so no. Unless you can identify where it's a match, but
It's no difference with this one, that building, and unit, where one is already done.
that's true. The other one
Yeah.
was an
An
existing
existing
building.
building,
But this
and this
is
is a
asking-
building that's coming up.
But this particular question is about, does it conflict with the city's adopted land use plan and zoning regulations?
No.
Okay. Number two, will the proposed action result in a change in the use or intensity of use of land? So no or small or moderate to large.
Intimidating, but
I don't know.
It is going to change the
Yeah,
intensity,
yeah,
nothing there, but
there's
is it
nothing there
a
now.
small impact because it's consistent with other uses in the neighborhood, or is it a moderate to
So
large?
is impact good or bad?
Impact is bad.
Oh.
But it's still a moderate,
gonna
it's still a
impact,
moderate
but it's gonna be
impact.
A good impact, you know.
Consistent with the current.
Right. That's subjective, but right now it is a,
Wouldn't be a hugely different, it would be a small.
Well, they're building a building on something that's not all torn down and not there.
yeah, it's a tough-
Size and
Yeah.
scale of the building. So the question you can look at, is the size and scale of the building consistent with other nearby buildings, or is it so out of scale with the neighborhood? or uses
You know,
of the
did they ever
neighborhood?
give us a,
yeah.
they did one time. but it-
There's nothing else down there, so I think it
And
it
at
would have
that
to be.
time, they said they're gonna have an outside theater, right? Did you get rid of that?
There's an outside seating area, but.
Outside seating area, but not the theater.
Correct.
What do you, you know?
I think moderate, small to
Yes,
I
moderate.
would say small.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Small, come on, guys, let's go.
yeah, small moderate.
All right.
Small to moderate.
Majority of small.
Yeah,
Okay.
fine.
Three, will proposed action impair the character or quality of the existing community?
No,
No,
Not a CEA, so we're skipping four. Will it result in an adverse change in the existing level of traffic or affect infrastructure for mass transit, biking, or walkway?
no,
no.
No.
Because it's the
So
same
it's
amount
the
of
same
traffic
amount.
that's going there now.
Yeah.
It's existing roads.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
if they have an event. We don't need to make.
They already have
improvements
They
in the
already
road
have-
System.
yeah,
They already have events.
So something that would, so
The majority says no?
No,
no.
Okay.
But
Let's go by
for
majority.
purposes of this question though, something that, so what this question is getting at. If you are putting a use in that requires maybe the widening of a roadway or a traffic light. Or some mitigation because it's going to create a large impact, that's getting moderate to large. But here, we understand that the road system can support the use,
They're putting in a crosswalk, putting in a bus stop
they are putting in a crosswalk.
for a certain amount of kids, crosswalk for people to cross to be safe. I don't think they can put in the light. You know,
And there's not enough water for it.
Right. So, you know, I just have a difference of that, but the majority rules here, so what do,
That's why I
The
just
majority.
don't understand, because
Yeah.
these questions
I
are very
understand.
nuanced, and
I understand it, but to me, that understanding reflects it.
well, you have a different opinion,
Yes,
that's fine.
exactly. So, majority?
I think the majority was no.
Yeah.
Okay, stay. Will the proposed action cause an increase in the use of energy and it fails to incorporate reasonably available energy conservation or renewable energy opportunities? No. So again, something here that would be moderate to large would be, does it need a new transmission station?
No.
Do we need to put in, new wires? Okay. Will the proposed action impact existing public-private water supplies and public-private wastewater treatment facilities? No. Will it impair the character or quality of important historic, archaeological, or architectural or aesthetic resources?
No.
Will it result in an adverse change to natural resources, wetlands, water bodies, groundwater, flora, fauna? No. Will it result in an increase in the potential for erosion, flooding, or drainage problem?
No.
Well, that's been addressed.
So you looked at that issue and your engineer agreed
Yeah.
that they.
That's been addressed.
Okay.
What, would they do a floodplain permit? Wasn't that mentioned?
They will need a permit through the city when they get through the loan.
Yeah.
What kind of permit is it?
The floodplain.
Okay, okay.
Same as we did
Craig
for
does that now,
Colorado.
right, but Craig does that now,
Yeah,
and that doesn't affect us in any way. Does it?
I mean, it's part of your seeker review, so you are reviewing the impacts of that flood permit.
But it comes after.
Correct, permit and the observation and the closeout comes after. It's just like a building permit.
So how do we have to review something that comes after?
Well, you reviewed the impacts.
We already
The
reviewed
permit's just the
Okay.
paperwork.
They did a flooded study, ACRES model.
All right.
Will the proposed action create a hazard to environmental resources and human health?
Hope not. No.
Okay, so based on all of this, you could make a motion to adopt a negative declaration.
Okay, can I get a motion?
I make a motion.
Okay.
We got-
I think I-
Let her open her mouth. Just try.
Who's second? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, so be it, stop it.
Okay.
Now, I guess a motion to approve the, well, under condition, or you wanna wait till next?
Don't have me in.
No, I'm just saying,
Yeah.
I'm looking, got my head turned this way, looking over there.
Why is this now?
Okay, do you wanna have a motion to approve the, site plan application with the conditions?
I think that's what we.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Okay, so the
So-
majority
It
says,
would be, you'd be looking for a motion to conditionally grant site plan approval. Conditioned on the applicant satisfying, the planning board engineer satisfaction, the outstanding items in the October 13th, 2025 letter from Barton and Woodruff.
and do we put a date on when they have to satisfy it? Because they can't go to Craig with this.
If they wanna take 3 months to satisfy it, that's up to them.
But it sounds like they don't. They wanna have it in 14 days or less.
I mean, the other conditions, also payment of all fees and escrow.
Right.
I mean, those are.
Came up with, they get the site plan back, okay.
I mean, those are the two.
Do we wanna do we wanna approve the site plan tonight with conditions, or do we wanna wait?
I make the motion, we do it.
Okay.
Yeah, right on.
Everybody? Yeah. All in favor?
Aye.
Nay, all opposed? I wanna make sure it's on the record. I think we should wait, but I wanna make it, because I just can't seem to get it to you guys that proving things with a lot of conditions are backing us up, causing problems. But I say nay, but it's going to approve.
Well, I'll just say for the record that in this case, with these extenuating circumstances, to help something that is going to be such a benefit to the community, it seems worth.
But a whole lot of every application that comes here, applicant that comes here thinks they're gonna be a benefit, sees themselves as a benefit.
But this is actually a benefit.
But in
If
your,
we ask the children who have benefited from it for
listen,
many years versus the
children,
tourists.
we've got a whole bunch of, we got a whole bunch of organizations that are tending to the children. in this area.
They're all benefits.
Right, and every applicant that comes here thinks they're a benefit, whether they're attending to the children or not. That's the way I. You know, if they're just going to not listen to us, as when we ask for something, they don't give it to us, then we've got to do something about that. But it passed, so let's move on.
Right, so in this case, the applicant understands they need to do all the work directly with Christian to make sure that Teresa is satisfied, and then you can arrange with Teresa to sign your site plan before you go.
Thank you.
Okay. That's it.
You're done.
That's
You're
just
done,
that.
yeah.
Thank you.
Don't let
Okay.
them-
Yeah, we're not gonna let you down. We are gonna take some.
Yeah. New business. Now we're on new business. It's not a public hearing. We won't be asking questions from the public. We just want to move on. And that is 3 Storm Street, 3 Storm Avenue, which is the 5 hens, the chickens. Hey, where were you last month? You had you on the agenda.
Yes, actually, I'll let you know that I missed it after I was getting email or something. I just moved up here, so I'm not quite familiar.
Sorry about that.
Is Linda on? Can
I
I start taking
apologize.
notes?
Yeah, no.
Okay.
Hold on a second.
Hold on a second.
All right, so I don't see Linda. She didn't ask to be let in, but it is being broadcast.
Okay, so you have a recording.
Yeah,
Okay.
I have a recording, it, yes. And it's live.
Oh, it is? Okay.
Yeah, I'm looking at it
Yeah,
now.
thank you, Randall. Thank you very much. Okay, what's her name? Sonia.
You want to introduce yourself to the board?
Yes,
My
and
name
tell
is
us what you
Sonia-
do.
My name is Sonia Borth. I recently moved to Hudson, from Orange County, New York. And I am seeking a permit for my 4 hens.
Whose
Did
name's,
one die?
Lucy and Ethel,
uh-huh,
and Baby and Ginger. I used to have all the Spice Girls, but I knew them, they didn't make it, so now I'm 4.
Oh, something happened to one of them? Cause you had 5.
Any of them. Well, chickens, you know, they get into trouble, they just pass.
On the application, you said something about a coop on wheels?
A chicken
rolling?
Yes, I've made all the mistakes already. These chickens are costing more than any other pet ever. So now, it is a chicken coop, but it actually is gonna have wheels that I can push up and I can move it. That way the grass doesn't all die in one spot. Because they do kill the grass pretty quickly, so I can move it in my yard in different spots.
This being a new this being new. Now, when you move it, then you may not be within the regulated setbacks and stuff like that. So I don't,
So one thing,
I don't think.
the applicant is required to provide you with a map showing compliance with the sections. I'm not sure, you guys should review it and see if you believe it shows what's required, but we didn't see the distance between the fence and the street boundary or the chicken coop.
Yeah,
But one thing, she could do if it's movable is draw kind of a box, like the, coop should stay within this envelope, and then she can move it around within that envelope, but she has to show
do
you
you have a picture of the
that
coop?
that envelope will meet the setbacks.
No matter where she move it on her,
Correct, you need to have a,
and then the different areas where she can move it that fits the requirements of the setback.
yeah, I think it's fine if she moves it as long as she shows you she's.
Right. she's within
Yeah,
the
the
parameters.
Location.
You get that.
Do you know how big your lot is?
I think I looked it up and put it in the application, but top of my head, I don't remember. My yard is entirely fenced in the back, and I would say I have at least, from where I plan to put the roof, I have at least 100 feet in the back, and at least 50 feet on each side to the fences. So I'm not talking, moving the thing all the way, just a couple of feet.
And then put
Mostly
it just for a while to clean and then put it
Mhm.
back.
I also have these boxes that I've made that I put on the ground and I plant grass underneath. They have hardwood cloth on top, so the grass will regrow and the chickens can eat it. As I said, I've already made all the mistakes.
So,
Do you have a picture of that?
Randall, can you pull up the map? It just, so everyone can see that it doesn't have the distances on it. That was on the issue. It's in the application, it's in the application. by
Yeah.
form.
Hold on, I can do that.
So the board does need to set a hearing, so you could set the hearing for the next meeting and then, she can come back with the
Do you have a
map with
pen?
the
And how about
measurements.
you have a picture of what it's gonna look like? The one on wheels? No, don't show it to me now. Submit it. That's okay. Okay, so do we want to set a public hearing? Because these type of applications require a public hearing. I wish they didn't, but they do. So,
Do you hear?
no, this is,
Scheduled for another.
yeah, you have to come back.
Yeah, and do you understand with a map of the
Yes,
whole
that's what it
backyard?
So that one is not good enough, but I have to get yours, what else?
What's
When
her
you say
address?
that, Do you mean this one?
Three
No, I.
stone.
No.
She's
Okay.
Stone.
Yeah,
Oh,
we still
give me a
have drawing,
second.
but you did,
Doesn't have, the problem is the drawing doesn't have distances on it.
Right.
So if you look at the code, it's section 70-17.
Gotcha.
It has a list of like setbacks and things, so they just need you to demonstrate that where you're putting the coop meets on all sides those setbacks.
and if
Also,
you,
it needs to show food storage and waste removal, where are you gonna put the food and where are you storing the waste?
All right, I actually did write
Okay.
about that. The food gets taken inside and I keep it in galvanized containers. They're all in four things and I'm using, hemp bedding, which works pretty much like a litter box. You scoop it and then just throw it out. It's-
Here we go, I got it.
Four doses, not-
Yeah, let's see.
Yes.
Quite a big backyard.
Yeah, I thought that I had put a little, square in the, yeah, I was a little challenged.
we can understand.
What's that section?
It's 70-17 and the conditional use permit is 325-34.
Yes, it is.
Email her everything.
We have a memo.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I thought I did, but I didn't put measurement.
Oh, there it is.
Hmm.
So we,
Here we go.
hello. So if you have any more questions, you can, we'll get the memo out to you so that you can understand what you said, what you have to do. And we'll put you in a public hearing. So I want a motion for a public hearing for Storm Street, for 3 Storm Avenue.
I'll make a motion.
Second. All in favor? Okay, so the public hearing is gonna be November is going to be another issue. Because November 11th is a holiday, it's Veterans Day,
What was it? I'm sorry.
right, listen to us. November 11th is Veterans Day, so we gotta move that meeting. It's Veterans Day is a holiday.
Yes.
Yes. So, and our meeting normally falls on the second Tuesday, and it is a holiday. So, at the end of the meeting, I guess we'll come.
Well, we need to identify the date for the. public
Yes, we
hearing
do.
now. Part of. setting.
And we need the calendar. Can someone pull up the calendar?
County, I do need to look that on the border. Let
Let me see if I can get the calendar for November. Sooner than later.
For the city calendar?
Yeah, for, is Lloyd here?
He was here.
You left.
City calendar for November.
Oh, let's see. Let's see what we got. So
Let
calendar.
me see. We're trying to get the date up for the next public hearing.
Okay,
I mean, for
so
the next planning
do
board.
you want to, are you definitely meeting on the 28th? You want to see it then?
Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
For November.
You ready by the 28th?
October
Okay, so.
Ready to talk.
we can- Okay,
I mean, if you're definitely meeting on the 28th,
it looks like we are. We had
And then-
voted to have that as a date, so it looks like. we-
Yeah. That work for you?
Have that as a date,
If-
if we didn't get.
Yes, right, we did, but.
Yeah, but we-
I wrote it right
Okay.
here.
Not only that, we've had other
28th.
applicants ask, you know,
Mhm.
can they come on the 28th since they didn't make it on this
Right.
one?
So it's a
Now-
motion to set the public hearing for October 28th, 2025.
Okay, do we want to meet on the?
Yeah,
I don't
It's up to the board.
know. What do y'all want to?
Well, then you need to pick another date for November.
Well, let's pick a date for November.
Are we, do we have closure in giving, this applicant an idea of when we're gonna put her on?
We're looking for a date. for
Why
November.
I don't imagine it will take much time.
Okay, let's look for, let's get a date for November, because if we do meet on the 28th, there are at least at least two other applicants in front of her that have already asked. Can they meet? There's two applicants that came in, they didn't come in on time. And then one that's already here that we just couldn't get to. So we're gonna have three applicants that's gonna be on that date if we meet on that date.
Okay.
Okay, so let's get a date for November. And, you know, we can always change it, you know, but let's get a date for November because we're gonna need it.
How about the 18th, which is the next phone meeting?
We need, you know what we need before we even get the date? We need
The
the,
common council?
yeah, we need the calendar for the city to make sure we're not doing a date on the same, or if we have to move it here. But if we have it here, it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
It's in the
You
mail.
have to get prior proof.
And then we gotta find out if this is available.
Yeah, I have the calendar.
You do?
I mean, it's on the website, right?
Yeah, but, yeah, which guy?
So the 11th still has you on the planning board. Okay,
Yeah, it's Veterans Day.
yeah, okay, so that. So what do you want, what date do you want to look at, the 18th? Look at the 12th.
That's Wednesday.
It's Wednesday.
Housing Trust Fund Board hybrid, 5:30 to 6:30. Maybe 6:30?
Yeah, 6:30. The 12th, how about the next day, Wednesday, guys?
How about the next week?
You can't do one.
I'm not sure. I've got a bunch of appointments. It's Wednesday and Thursday. Neither the events today, so I may not be available.
You may not have much.
I may not.
How about over here?
I see the
How
calendar.
about, King? You available on the 12th? 6:30,
I don't know.
City Hall?
Yeah, I should be.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes,
yeah,
ma'am.
I think so, yeah.
Dr. Young, what'd you say?
I am not 100% sure. I just booked a whole bunch of appointments and they were gonna send me for November and December, and they were gonna try to send me the whole list. And I don't see it yet.
All right, so
And I know
let's,
there were Wednesdays and Thursdays were going to be the two things that we were looking at.
City Hall or?
City Hall.
Oh, wait a minute. I got the list. Hold on, hold on.
Because, you know, we have everything. there.
Yeah, I think so.
Carry everything.
What day were we looking at in November?
The 12th.
Okay, that's fine because the 13th is,
Okay. So we're going to schedule our planning board meeting for November the 12th next month. City Hall. Yeah. And we're going to schedule your public hearing for that date, okay?
So just to clarify, all I need now is the site, is the drawing and the measurement and the
Right.
sign.
And we're gonna email you the memo, okay? So you can have it in.
Right,
Thank you.
thank you.
Oh, do I get a motion for that? Where is it?
I mean, you should reset it because there's a lot of discussion.
Okay, so can I get a motion to hold a public hearing for 3 Storm Avenue
On November
on
12th.
November 12th, 2025 at 6:30 PM City Hall?
I'll make the motion.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, done.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, have a good night.
What's next? 519.
Huh?
Okay, 519 Columbia Street.
My name is Kevin Thompson with Thompson Architecture. I am here tonight to request a change of use for 519 Columbia Street, from a warehouse storage use to a group M mercantile use. We're not proposing any change to the building right now. The proposed is to try to get, to the physical characteristics of the building right now, is just trying to get a change of use so that the owner of the building can market this building to try to solidify a retail tenant. So that's what I'm here for. It's just sort of a process.
Any questions from the planning board?
The entire square footage will be used, right?
Right.
In this,
Single,
for this use.
that's correct.
One.
Single phase. That's what the landlord would like to have, right?
And that's a big building. I went
Yeah.
in there when it was just.
5,300 square feet.
Do you know what type of retail or
At
merchandise?
this point, there's nothing set, so it's currently a warehouse, so it's limited in terms of who can, who we can find to use that space. So
And I saw the front, you did the front like a store. You only
they
have
cleaned
one
it up,
door.
so right now, they
Yeah.
just, someone went in there, putting the windows in it, fixed the roof, fixing the roof was caving in on that.
And the back too, you cleared it out.
They cleaned up, they emptied the building out, they're prepping it to make it leasable.
So, what would you want to see? Because they didn't give us, they're saying there's no structural changes to the building. You want to see the pictures, renderings? And how are customers going in and out?
So there's currently egress on both Columbia Street and Prison Alley on the back. There's doors on the front and back of the building. Everything that's there is existing. We're not proposing to change anything at this point, and I would imagine that should we submit something to the building department when a tenant comes in, and if they want to change something on the outside of the building to make it more marketable for their business, then we'd be back here to review those changes. I
Why they here.
they wanted us to go through this to
Yeah,
change it, to make
What's
it
in
more
the tenant?
formality.
Are you gonna have handicap access?
I'm sorry?
Are you gonna have handicap access?
There is handicap access.
Okay.
I've never really come to a planning board to just get a change of use for a building, so
That's what I'm trying to figure out. Why you're here. I asked that
It's
question
because it's
myself,
a change of use.
we're looking for a
but
change.
that's not,
So you have to consider.
ZBA, they don't. do
No.
changes.
So planning board does change of use, but the questions you would be considering, would be, is this use going to have impacts, which would require you to have, a new circulation
They
pattern?
don't know what they're going to, they're just gonna,
Store.
yeah,
Assuming retail.
they don't know what type.
Are there gonna be trucks backing in? Where are they gonna be loaded and unloaded? Site lighting, is that changing?
That is a huge space. I wonder what type of store would go there.
Could be anything. I mean,
Yeah, it could be a Walmart.
I'm just getting smaller version.
But it can't be a restaurant. It's not.
That wouldn't be a retail, that would be an assembly space.
A large space.
Have you done any photometrics on the building in terms of what you wanna do for lighting in the front?
No, but again, I think that, to me, that.
Depends on your tenant.
What they want to do in their tenant. If
Okay.
they want to put crazy lights on it, then we'd have to come back to you and present to the lights.
So, right, this you're just asking for approval for change
I'm
of
asking
use. If
for-
there's any other big changes, we would see you again here.
No,
I'm
no,
asking,
no.
no, no.
If there's changes to the outside.
Right.
If there's changes to the outside, so what I think I'm asking you for is to say, yes. You
Change
can
of
put
use for the
you can
entire-
go from a warehouse use to a mercantile use.
Right.
Right.
And that's, I think, so then we can check a box to the building owner and say, yes, you can market this towards a retail establishment now. And then when
If a
lease is
retail
signed
come
with
in, they
somebody
don't have to
and-
come here.
I'm sorry?
If a retail establishment come in,
Once it's approved, they don't have
they,
to come.
they won't have to come here.
Unless they want to change
Right.
something on the outside of the building.
And you're correctly zoned, you're zoned for,
Right,
Yeah.
right.
it's fine.
If a tenant came in and they wanted to change something on the building,
Yeah, outside.
on the outside of the building, would we have to come back to the planning board for that, or? If they wanted to put signage up or, no, if they wanted.
If it was if it was a retail that's coming, a retail, whatever came in there based on what the approval for, I don't think they come back there.
So one of the things though, it does look like this needs to go to county because it's within 500 feet of Route 9. Is that right?
9G
9G?
Columbia Street
is 9G.
is 9G.
It is.
Columbia Street's 9G.
The 9G.
So it definitely is.
So
So it's on Columbia Street. It's right there. That's right by. So there you have to go.
that's something we could do tonight. Let's refer it, get that escrow.
Okay. But he has to go to the county for change of use? No.
I see it, but
Let's see this particular use, the county has an exemption, the county planning board has an exemption agreement with Hudson that says
What?
you don't have to send certain very minor applications. I don't see this kind of change of use listed,
Right.
You
so
mean on the exemption list?
on the exemption list, which
we
means
do have. to
I think the
write.
default is we have to send it. They probably won't have any comments.
but we have to
Okay.
send it.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll do that. Any questions?
It might have water and sewer.
We need to do a water and sewer report. And go through that DEC permitting process with DPW.
But
You're
don't,
gonna be changing the use from a warehouse, which is a less intense use, to a retail.
but don't they have volume thresholds that are pretty robust, not, you know, to go to DC, it's had to be like a multi-dwelling, it had to be,
The city's under the consent order, as far as I know.
right.
So any change in use has to go to DEC.
This is that newer thing that the DEC, I mean, newer, maybe it's not new as I'm thinking it is, but this is like laundromat. In my mind, we're talking like laundromat, we're talking the high water usage gallons per day, right? This is the gallons per day threshold that are.
Correct, warehouse is gonna have a smaller gallon per day than a retail store.
Right.
Yeah.
So you're gonna need to change that, and there is a permit process. Sidewalks out here, this is the time for the board to look at the sidewalks, bring them into compliance. There is a law that any development in the city of Hudson has to upgrade their sidewalks, meet current standards. ADA access into the building,
That's
so
what
you need to think about.
Yeah, so.
Because if they don't do anything in the outside of the building, they can put a retail store in it, they don't need to come before you again.
Right.
Um,
I can't remember, are your sidewalks redone? I don't remember if they are, I don't think so.
No, they're not,
I
not
don't
up
think
that
so.
far.
So,
And forgive us because this
It's
particular
fairly
type of
big,
use,
good size.
I don't think any
it's
of
a,
us
it's a big
sitting on
size.
this board can-
It's a size, okay.
Oh, it's good, good size, but I think it's approved. I think it's okay.
Does it have a roof on it now?
Oh,
Yes,
Okay, the picture of the roof.
Okay, there was, the roof had failed at one point, so that was part of trying to get this building weather tight again.
so you're gonna update new pictures, right?
Well, those are
Of the
from,
vendor?
These are, when they were trying to sell it.
okay, so, we can start tonight. Do you want to do the escrow
Yeah.
first?
Can I get a motion to propose escrow and being that they will be reviewed by you, Kristen, right? So I'm going to suggest, because Dean and I try to suggest to you, because we don't want to keep coming back to the applicant for every little thing, and they are charged, a lot of times they come in and they hire an engineer for their project, but somehow or another they just, spend give a lot of money to our consultant. So I'm gonna suggest 10,000.
I'd say 5. I was thinking 5.
I said 5.
Okay, I'm gonna say 10, and then we're gonna say.
Read now, it's a, sorry,
Uh,
it's conditional use permit request. How much work are you gonna be involved in?
It
Or-
depends if you require a traffic study, parking studies. If you require, review the water and sewer report.
Well, I think the parking is right next door. So I think if it's gonna be public park, there's parking there, so I don't think that's the issue.
Yeah, they're right,
City parking?
That's city parking.
right next door.
Everybody
Yeah.
else is
There's
using
a
it.
lot of other ones.
Huh?
Everybody, yeah.
Everybody else is using that.
But it's parking.
Yeah, but they would have to account for the fact that people are using that.
Yeah.
As long as you're like, I think it's paid, I think of meters.
It is.
It's meter parking, city meter parking.
Meters are permits. Then you got public parking on Columbia Street. No parking in the alley.
Right.
And I
Right.
just want to say all escrow money is returned.
Yeah.
That's not used, it's
What's not
returned
used,
to
yeah.
the applicant.
Yeah, but we don't wanna make it onerous.
But we don't want to make it where we have to continuously notify them to pay when they, a lot of times they ignore it. So,
So just so we're talking about maybe the water sewer report, that's Christian, right? That's.
Yeah.
Okay, so Christian, you're
Christian's
suggesting
consultant.
perhaps the water and sewer report.
Site plan. Not gonna be that much. It's probably $3,500 to $4,500.
That's what's the fun,
did you pay your application fee? Yeah, I think you
So-
did. I remember seeing the money.
Is this going to be like a cannabis use? Because then we would want to see where people are coming in and going out, because they need to do separate doors.
I know that's one of the that's one of the potential people.
But he hasn't confirmed.
But nothing is confirmed. We can't do anything until we get this to approved for.
But once we approve it, then even that doesn't have to come back to us.
Unless they're putting in a new door or something, but I don't know.
I think we've got a lot of
Two
questions.
doors,
Yeah, we
you
do
get an
have-
entrance and an exit
So-
door.
But that's not what we're evaluating now. We're just evaluating,
To go in and out, there's like a one-way path through the store, so.
Okay.
So
But the
just
one
with
that
the front-
exists, the one that exists now, those two doors on the inside.
I actually haven't been yet.
I haven't,
planning to,
you know,
but I
Gabby,
haven't
I
yet.
never been either. I
I
just
mean-
went to the door and looked in and they have, one door to go in. And then when you go in, there's a door to go in and then come back out.
but it's the same door though.
I'm asking, like, the door on Columbia Street and the door on Prison Alley suffice.
No,
I
no,
don't
that door in Prison Alley, that's only gonna be for emergency because there are no entrances.
But they both need to be ADA compliant.
Got it.
Right.
So I think,
The prison alley, and we have
That's for emergency,
accessibility right
yeah.
now into the building. We have a ramp in the building,
On
Right.
Prison Alley.
on the back side of the building.
So both sides are ADA
The
accessible.
front side is not today. The Columbia Street is not currently accessible. So we need to solve that problem.
Have you finished the building there? Because I know she was doing a lot of work and it looked like it was finished, but it's not.
Where it's to a point where,
Okay.
with a meeting with Craig, with the permit to do the repairs, that we got to a point where it's that, let's stop what we're doing and
Go to
come before the
the.
planning board to try to talk about this change of use. So we can check that box.
Right,
The
so,
refusal letter is in Union Club. Let's see what it's. See.
So the front of the building you can't get into it yet?
To city.
Today there's a step in the building off Columbia.
He said it was,
Probably just when you need it.
if you need site, yeah.
That's
So we should
that's a
do-
building
but-
code.
but
That's a
after site
building
plan.
code.
That's a site change of use.
Yeah, that requires.
We
site
have
plan.
accessibility.
Okay.
in the building, off
Okay.
The back, through the, we can make the personality entrance.
It's a site plan for a
To
change
check
of
that-
use.
Okay.
To check a box, we
Right.
can certainly do that, not that we want to do that, but I'm saying to satisfy tonight's discussion. That we could make that the primary entrance, you know, I don't know that the site plan review for. How we make Columbia Street. The primary entrance accessible, I don't know that.
well, it makes more sense. It makes more sense to have actually that around the back, because there's a cutout in the the parking area to get to there. Otherwise, you'd have to stop on
But I
Columbia Street.
remember reading something from the code enforcement that the alleyways are not to be used for main entrances.
Well, but
You know.
Cannonball,
Yeah, right.
You
they
know,
are.
so that's something
Yeah.
I think that is up to the code enforcement, because I remember reading something that wrote to that.
They just opened that restaurant in the Cannonball Factory that has a rear entrance, so that can't.
What, a restaurant in a what? factory?
On
Cannonball,
Fourth Street.
Fourth in Columbia.
but the entrance is in Prison Alley.
Yeah, that's correct.
Well, they always had an entrance in Prison Alley.
We
So it was
have-
grandfathered.
we have-
Yeah, if they always, before it was something else, it's always been like that there.
But why wouldn't that be the case with this building then?
It wasn't always like that.
No.
This is.
There's always been.
There's always been a door, but never for a main entrance.
The main entrance was always Columbia,
Yes,
because I
right.
remember that building.
But the Cannonball, that place on the corner of Fourth and Mills, always had that entrance there instead of, Columbia Street.
I don't think so.
No, it has,
It
always,
On Columbia
yes.
Street, there's always an entrance.
Always.
it was an entrance. I don't know if that was the main entrance when it was the Etsy, when it was Etsy.
When it was Etsy.
It was on the
they had a
corner.
Parking lot, but that's not what they're talking about. They're talking about the one on the corner that's now.
Yeah.
I don't.
It's close to the lot.
Okay, so.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah, but I'm saying, but the,
site plan.
That's
We
the
need
one
to-
you talked about, right?
Site plan,
Yeah.
entrance,
Window lot.
exit.
This is just two different spots.
I don't believe there's a scenario.
you mean on the Columbia building? Yeah, we used to entrance.
Have us putting ramp on the street outside the building.
I just can't envision that back.
But that's what I think would happen.
All right, we won't set an escrow, so let's not get away from that.
That's what, we said five. We said,
I said 10,000.
we said five.
You guys say
Well,
5.
But what does our
What do you
escrow
guys say?
department-
You said
what if our escrow
4,500.
Department says I'm not an escrow.
Right, that's
You're
not
the escrow
the
department.
Okay, so then it's whatever the escrow department says, because you have one.
Gene, I say 10. We don't have to go back. We don't know that there's too many things that's uncertain here.
75.
They got split the difference. Yeah, there you go.
Can I,
Check down.
can I get a motion to set the escrow for 7,500 for, what is it, the 519 Columbia Street? Can I get a motion?
I make a motion.
Second? All in favor? Any opposed? Okay, so we set the escrow. We'll give you a resolution to that. We'll be sending it to you.
So I guess my question, I don't know, I'm just looking for clarification as to what information are, reports, information is needed for.
Okay.
Can you,
Once-
okay, oh,
Once he said escrow, then he's gonna review it.
okay, because I was also gonna say that if you still have slight confusion about the changes that you need to make, maybe you and Chris can, do emails, and then you can have a whole list of this is what he just said, so that there's no question in your mind about things,
But pay your escrow first.
When is it?
Isn't most things about the
The city
money
of
out lately?
The treasurer's office,
Yeah.
okay? The check should be made out to the, three of us. And, delivered to the treasurer's office, okay?
I have another resolution though. If you want to start that tonight, we can classify it. You guys should decide whether you want to do.
Yes.
A coordinated review or an uncoordinated review. Coordinated means we send it to like Department of Health, and I don't really think, there's not.
It's gonna tie it up.
Yeah. okay.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
think it needs to-
So we'll say in an uncoordinated review.
And we'll take leave.
It would be that you classify the project as an unlisted action under seeker in an uncoordinated review, which means your lead, because there's no one else involved. We're not sending it anywhere.
Mhm.
And then-
Except for the reference to the county
And then
for 9G.
direct the secretary to refer the site plan to the Columbia County Planning Board pursuant to 239M of the general municipal law.
Right.
Okay,
Sounds good.
sounds good to everybody?
Is that a motion or
It's a
A
motion.
motion? Can I get a motion?
Motion for what?
what she just said?
I just.
Yeah, we make a motion for the stuff that she just said.
Christina, you made it. There we go.
There you go. I second
In
it.
favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
I'm
Motion
sorry.
accepted.
Good question.
So you'll get a notice, okay?
And then I'll reach out to you. Yep. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
What's next? Okay, old business.
Really?
71s?
Yeah,
70,
72
72.
North Fifth Street.
Hey, you need a break?
You want a break?
I could use.
Okay, let's take a 5-minute break.
No more than that.
Okay, resume the meeting at 8:19 PM. And now we're gonna call up for old business, 70-72 North Fifth Street.
Josh, yeah.
Yeah.
You want details?
No, I mean, do y'all, you know, we realize that we have to consider public hearings, we never did.
There's a certain level of redundancy there. You do a public hearing at the zoning
The
board.
zoning board's required to do a public hearing and the planning board, because each board is looking at slightly different things. I know it feels redundant, but they're both required by state law, so.
The
Still,
law. How we can do things different in the years to come, but right now, this is the way us old people do them.
not even old people.
I've done it.
It's state law.
Okay. So you got your, he went and got what is the for variance
He received an area variance from
We should have
the
sound
zoning
out.
board of appeals. We
in September.
gave him a neg deck in August.
Mhm.
September, he got his area variance, so now
And
the
then
board
years to
can
come,
set a
but
hearing.
right now, this
We
is the way.
decide what meeting
Good
is
sound.
setting it for.
And we understand, you know, that you're like, oh, gosh, but this is what I'm saying, things get lost, yeah. Okay.
You're
I couldn't even remember
You're
what they were.
You're
So I
fine.
read it. Okay, so can I get a motion to set the public hearing for 70-72 North Fifth Street for November the
Well,
12th, thank you,
Mhm.
2025, City Hall, 6:30.
I'll make the motion.
Second,
I said,
all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And that's about. We've already been sending you notices for escrow, right? Yeah, okay, so, about it. Okay, thank you.
excuse me? It's sound. I can listen. I'm watching it right now on YouTube and I can see it. Well, let me see. Hold on.
Yeah.
for what? I mean, you have to set the hearing.
That kid has that.
Let me see. Hold on. I'm listening right now.
We're waiting for zoning to grant.
No, zoning just approved.
Right here. It's sound. I can
Okay,
listen.
now, the
I'm
next
watching it right now on
applicant and the
YouTube. I can
last
see it.
applicant, and what's this, but not
Let
too
me
bad.
let me see. Hold on.
822, Colorado, 75 North, South Front Street, Colorado, you hear? Yeah. Okay, great. Not bad. I want to thank everybody ahead of time. Later.
Brought some much better organized visuals for everybody, if you wanna,
See it now?
if you wanna pass it down. I didn't need this.
Yeah, it definitely is. Definitely is.
Yeah, we can.
Yeah.
Randall.
Oh,
Yeah, boy, what do you got?
Suit? Who's this? Okay.
yeah, that's it. If it's not enough for everybody else, sure.
Share.
Okay. How sweet. Do I have these, in the upload? Are these recent? Did you put them, are these uploaded?
No, I'll go over that. We just got them today, so they will be uploaded with
Okay.
for Christian firm to review them before the next planning board meeting. But you know, tonight is a short period of time between the last meeting and this one. So today we're just going to provide a quick update on any changes we made, but there still are some outstanding things that we're working on getting to you guys as soon as possible.
Okay.
Can you do me a favor? Can you move down? I'm trying to get down into the shop. You guys just slide down.
Sorry.
Yeah. And if you guys come over, yeah, just come over this way. I'd make a little bit more. Yeah, that would be good. Everybody can see you. There is sound going out, for sure. I'm looking at it and I'm listening to it and I can't see that. I don't see how they could not be getting the sound because I'm watching the YouTube channel right now. And I'm listening to it.
Sorry.
But hold a second, just hold a second.
Now, this is going to be,
Give me a second.
I just want to, stay through.
There was, okay.
That this is gonna be
It was
between the planning board and the applicant. we will not be taking comments from the public. Okay,
One step, gotta get this home.
okay, go ahead.
Thank you. So just an update on 3 topics. One, Christian had asked for us to add photometrics to the lighting plan.
Right.
Which we have done. We will submit that lighting plan. We got confirmation they were able to do that. We'll submit the lighting plan to the meeting lab well in advance of the next meeting, so you'll have time to take a look at that. Landscaping, pretty similar to last time where we're gonna show you sort of current 1 year, 5 year, 10-year progression of the screening. So we went back with some of the comments on, especially, we'll start with the vegetative screening. We confirmed with our landscape architect and the engineers that that's likely not the best choice for screening the ivy on the building, so we're gonna remove that. You'll see that when we're done this side, so this is current. We also talked to our engineers about the combination of a berm and vegetation on the north side of the property. If that's possible, we can do a 9-foot berm with vegetation on top, which is fairly significant. The problem with the east side of the property, we realized is you can imagine, picture sort of a pyramid, the taller the berm, the wider the base has to be. There's not enough room between the property boundary and the retention pond to put a berm. So we went back to the landscape architects to say, is there some more substantial vegetation that we could put here for lack of a berm? That's what's described in the plan now. It's to put at start, significantly taller trees than you typically would put and allow to grow for vegetative screening. They're going to go in fairly tall. So they'll provide the same amount of coverage as the berm and more immature trees would have.
But do they provide the same noise mitigation that the berm was?
So my understanding from, and Christian, step in if I mischaracterize, but my understanding was that even without the berm and the vegetation, the operations meet the code, and operations are even less than the ambient noise at the railroad crossing. So my understanding was that the berm and vegetation was just sort of belt suspenders, but wasn't necessary mitigation to reduce noise impacts. It would reduce noise impacts, but wasn't sort of necessary to retain compliance. And Christian, if I mischaracterize that, please.
I don't know if you did mischaracterize that. Is there a way of elongating that detention pond instead of keeping it so squat to get you that area?
Yeah, one thing that we were talking about, would it be possible, would you want to come down to the site and take a look at it, and we can talk about sort of what we can do there, because I don't want to like come back with another thing and then have to go back, because there's kind of a few ideas, and for our purposes, we just want to make sure that we don't add net fill. Yeah, the retention pond is
Just make
square
retention
rectangular oval.
Yeah. longer and narrower.
Yeah.
To give yourself enough room.
Yeah, but one thing that they had asked prior to this, when they were looking at it, would be helpful to have you there, if you do a site visit, come down and we can propose something so that next time we're okay with it, you're okay with it, and then we're not sort of, but it is something that we did propose, but we didn't, take into account how wide the base would have to be, but, yep. We, based on comments at the last planning board meeting, we had removed the slats, which several planning board members had thought was unsightly, I guess, to say the
It was
least.
just me, but thank
Oh,
you.
yeah.
Me.
Yeah,
Okay,
well, let's talk about that, because,
Let us-
no,
I don't feel like wanting to
slats
remove.
in or slats out, so if the planning board wants to discuss that amongst themselves and maybe take a straw poll, we can just go off that, but.
Why don't you take a straw poll to figure out who wants slats and who doesn't want slats? And
Oh, in the fence?
Yeah.
you see both options.
The slats, again, for those who can't remember, it's chain link fence, so they're just
6 foot high.
oblong shapes,
Yeah, the
plastic slide-ins that go into the fence.
Can we just clarify that they do nothing for sound mitigation?
No.
No.
It's
It's
visual.
Visual,
Visual.
visual.
So
That was the only
just to
reason.
defend my anti-slat position, If you look now in this picture, which obviously. it
Look,
looks-
this is current condition.
No, I know.
Oh,
No, I'm just saying to use this as an understanding of the chain link fence has
Yeah.
no slats, so you can see through it.
I have the last picture.
When there's beautiful trees there, you'll see through it to beautiful trees. If there are green slats there, you just see ugly plastic green slats.
So this is 5-year growth, you have some more trees here. We have a 10-year growth? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and 10-year growth.
So is it okay if I
Yeah.
approach
I
the?
think
If-
Slats are tough, we end like.
Well, here's
So-
your old rendering of what the slats are.
Right,
Yeah,
but here's how pretty it's gonna be, and then if this is a line of plastic slats coming up 4 or 5 feet in the trees. I think personally, it will be on.
Well, I think in all due respect, no one will see that they're plastic. It'll just look green and it'll look like the foliage from that distance. You're not gonna.
No, it'll be obvious.
Huh?
It'll be out here, it'll be obvious.
They're being artificial.
Here it is.
Blend in with the trees.
And it's artificial, it's solid, it doesn't have, it's not leaves, they're really ugly. I used to live in that.
Only going into the top.
The thing about the slats is it doesn't provide a visual barrier in the winter months. We're in the northeast,
That's right.
leaves are in the trees, they're leaving right now, they're not coming back till May.
But they're.
And the slats provide that break.
Is
Oh,
there another kind of fence? that
yeah,
would
take a
Do
look.
that?
What about a pretty wooden?
Yeah.
I'm okay with
That's what the slides look like.
That's
That would end up.
Would be,
Is that picture is what the slides will look like?
over here.
There's.
Yeah, we saw it.
Yeah, that was passed around at the last.
Yeah.
board meeting.
These trees.
Yeah, so they.
There's a mix.
But you could do what's the, you could weatherproof like a deck. Like a fence on a deck. It wouldn't have to deteriorate. You can have wood, and I think it aesthetically would be much more pleasing than a fence, period, than a metal fence, period.
And
Although,
a little bit of noise.
And there would be a little bit of noise mitigation, I think. Yeah, that's right.
I'm
sorry.
I'm hearing a lot of great opinions. I just want to move in on one direction that we can go with.
I think the slats were basically for the visual.
Correct.
Right.
And we will take care of noise when Christian comes down, but that would be berm and vegetation.
but the slats are whatever size they are, 3 inches, 4 inches by 8 feet.
Yeah, 'cause
That'll mitigate some of the noise. It has to because it's solid.
I thought it would.
It's
but
not,
I'm
it's not an open fence.
not an engineer here on the record.
Yeah.
I can talk to my sound guy,
Yeah,
but I would envision using the same thing Gene did, is that it would block some of the sound.
Yeah.
It'd give it something to bounce off of.
okay.
Okay, so do we
But
want
to be clear, as you saw, and Christian, your view of the.
Okay, can I have my paper then?
do we
Well, my
want
first
slats?
view, yes, is that the ground
I
currently
think you gotta do.
Yeah, I am.
meets regulation.
So we're gonna, do we want slats?
Well, if everybody turn
Well, I
to
don't think
figure
it looks
5 and
that bad, to
6,
tell you the truth,
just look at figure 5 and 6 without the slats.
but I do know what's.
And I think you can see the starkness of the rusted metal fence.
But what do you want?
Huh?
The existing,
Yeah, the existing, go to figure 5 and 6, and you can see that's not visually appealing.
I mean, I see the trees behind it, I don't see the fence, but this is just a difference of opinion.
Yeah, and it is,
It's just.
to be fair, a chain link fence around a commercial property.
Right, it's not a home, it's not a home, I don't
Usually
get that, right.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's
so
my house. which I can't imagine.
If they replace the entire fence with black, that might help, and especially the black vinyl.
Black inserts, you mean, instead of
Black
black
vinyl
inserts?
chain link fence.
The whole fence.
Black
Fence.
chain link fence can disappear more than the silver one.
Yeah.
Vinyl.
Well, I mean, with.
It's up to the board.
okay, I'm gonna ask, do we want slats? We're gonna vote on it. Yes, no, down here. Haley? Okay. Okay.
No.
Yes.
Yes.
Dr. Ian?
You know, I really don't have, this is once, I really don't have an opinion. I have to tell you on that. I mean, if it's gonna mitigate some sound, if we know that, then I'm for it,
And
Okay.
and visual.
you
And
know,
visual. It's not gonna hurt anything, that's for
yeah.
sure.
Just the eyes.
You're right.
Your eyes.
But, how about you,
Yeah, no slats.
No.
for me.
So it's, and I say slats, so it's 2 no and 5 yes, so slats. Yeah, let's go, next thing.
What color?
Just
Oh,
leave it.
please.
What?
Just
Which
just
one?
leave it.
Would be.
Move on.
Move on,
We got it. We're at,
slats, yes.
yeah, it's
What are
Oh,
the?
green or black?
green.
Green,
Green.
yeah,
Well, then why,
Green.
would you ask us if it's
Green.
green?
No,
That's
that's
the
the
thing,
thing.
green, black.
I like green,
Green.
And I
yeah.
think they have brown in that too.
All right.
Okay,
The visual we showed
What color?
you was
Green.
green.
green,
But-
yeah, that's what we like, the
Dave,
green
say yes or
visual.
no?
We
What
gotta
color?
vote on color now?
Yeah.
Vote on color quick.
Okay, go ahead, color, green or black, brown, or maybe whatever,
Pink.
what,
Yeah,
Randall?
I like black slats, but I can live with green, but I
Yeah.
think black is.
Well, is that,
Over.
Maybe because I'm a no slap.
Yeah, I've asked them because there's no
fine.
slap. I mean, do they get the vote on?
they get to vote on.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I apologize. So you do get to vote on
What
the
did you
color.
say?
They said no, and then I didn't figure they didn't want to vote on the color. Okay, so what color? If you say black, Haley, what do you say?
I really.
Yeah, so
which is gonna be less intrusive? The green, the black, or the brown?
the green, the black.
I like the trees, so I'm the wrong one. this time.
On this one.
I like green. Okay, so it's how many greens?
I was
Better day.
Black, I'm going black.
Then
Yeah, I
black,
just
so the
said it. I
black.
opened my mouth,
So
I
we have
said
three,
it's
we have 3 black.
Green.
Actually, I will vote black, because I think the green will just look weird against natural green, so I think
Okay,
black.
so it's 4 black and 3 greens? Okay, so it's black. Hey, got that out, okay?
Two-tone wasn't an option?
What the?
What?
No,
Confused.
maybe red, white, and blue.
No, that's okay, that's fine.
So the other, if you want to,
Changing
that meeting that we wanted to address was, having a structural report done on the salt building.
Yeah.
We had a structural engineer down for site visit. We were hoping for the structural report prior to this meeting, but they're still finalizing it. Once it's finalized, we'll submit well in advance of the next meeting, so you guys can take a look at that as well.
But if you took that building down, that would, right now, that building helped mitigate sound, am I right?
Sound and sight.
Correct. The structural report was to determine whether the structure is in
The roof.
adequate condition
Yes,
for its current use,
Okay.
Right.
which is the storage.
Right.
Yeah, it wasn't, and
You
it
don't
will not
use-
say.
but you don't
should
use the
take-
building,
We've already
right?
had verbal discussions with them. They said this is a sound structural building. It's built like a fortress. They may have some maintenance items for us to look at, but that'll come in the report, which we submitted.
Okay.
Sorry, can I go back to the slats? I'm just looking at the figure and thinking, this is,
We're done.
no, but it's a huge, it's gonna be a huge.
We
visual
understand.
Impact. Can we just see, wouldn't it be so easy just to see the difference between green and black? Like, isn't it like one click of a computer?
We kind of made a decision to black and. we
You
can-
chose black.
Yeah, you chose
I know,
black.
I'm having a
I thought we
A
should.
moment.
Yeah,
This
the
is-
moment,
This is an entire stretch of the.
She
the
said
waterfront
black,
view. Look
four-
how long
4 to
it is. I'm
3.
just saying, would it prefer-
I
said better day, which
pictures,
was-
one with black and one with green?
I think they're looking for some decisive definitive answers, I
If
think.
confused. Was it 4 black?
I thought, okay, no,
Black.
Dr. Yen, you said green or black?
It was.
I think better day, which is green.
Wait, one,
Yeah, I'm asking if the board wants to request a visual.
No, do y'all want to request a visual of the colors?
Oh.
Come on.
Now we're getting too big.
Yeah, yes.
Well, it's not big, it's a big deal.
Okay, we're
actually.
gonna
Like,
take a vote on it.
Imagine this is all solid
Yes.
here.
No, what, no,
It's not
okay.
gonna work with the marker.
No,
I'm just,
What
I'm
would
gonna
you-
do it.
They're
from
already
myself.
coming back, I guess.
voting on the.
So yes.
Okay,
visual.
visual, do you want a visual? Yes, or no?
If,
No.
if he can give us a visual, fine.
Dr. Yen?
It's not necessary for me.
Yes, no.
Sure, it's not necessary.
Okay, Chip, I say no. So
No.
it's 2 no's and the rest, if you can do it.
Green.
That means a visual of the,
Right.
of, well, we voted on the black, so that means we'll have to vote again if we don't like the black.
Well,
This is
the last
getting
time we
out
did
of
the
hand.
button with these renderings, it was
Right.
$45.
Right, I like the
So I
green,
just
that's
want to
true.
keep that in mind.
Yeah,
It-
Really?
It shouldn't be that much. Yeah.
this
What-
course, this,
what's
yeah. I don't
I
think,
think
I
Wait,
say
that's- we'll
no.
Do it right now.
This is a pretty big deal. It's gonna be-
Gene and I say no. The rest of the board is saying if you can bring it, but you're saying it's an expense to it.
We'll check into it.
Okay,
Every
So
time you
if-
print a colored rendering,
right.
it's real expensive.
So if you can do it, if you, if you come back and say it's an extra cost, then no, okay? All right, what's next? How about the lighting? Did you do the lighting?
They're gonna shoot.
They're gonna submit the lighting?
And I know Randall had asked for one of the visuals from the park, to include what it looks like. If it was a situation where there were multiple barges parked
Right.
outwards. So
Right.
What barges?
This is the park.
Barges.
You'll have to imagine that the tower will be taken down.
Wait a minute, hold
Right.
Okay.
hold it, let's get there.
Yeah, I'll wait for everybody.
I just want to back up.
Is it about?
There,
Maybe you agree with me that I do.
Right, you're-
I didn't realize that.
And so what?
Yeah, it's barges there.
More mature trees
That's
that'll.
it, that just will block the view.
Correct.
Okay, so it's still remains the same.
Yeah.
Only building, okay.
Is it without the barges? And this is with, one, two, this is with three barges, and you still.
it's like
you say line-
6.
You say line is still open. It's not blocked.
So now you said that,
Okay, the barges are next.
They have to come down.
Figure not, do you have a figure 9 is without and figure 10 is with?
right, so just to recap, you said that you could potentially have up to 8 units, was it 6 or 8?
Six.
6 units. But
6 barges out into the channel.
that's right.
This is the rendering. So going from 9 to 10, this is 3 out.
Right,
Right,
we talked about 6 hours.
Are they next? But you said you have up
Talking
to
about
6.
6, it was 3, and then behind those are.
another
Oh,
3,
so
right.
they're in
That's-
line
yeah, that's
with
what I'm
things
saying,
out.
right.
Go 3, further than 3 out. Now
South
you're
and
under-
north.
Okay.
There are restrictions on navigability in New York State.
Okay.
Right.
Shipping channel,
So it's
commercial
not-
shipping channel, anything that blocks that is infringing on interstate commerce and violation of NAFTA.
So you can count each one of those as 2
No,
for 6.
Well, there's one behind
No,
them.
wait, hold this,
It's
the
the
compound,
behind.
right, that means, so if I'm looking for 1, 2, 3, I count 2, 4, 6,
Right.
that's what I'm
Yeah,
saying,
or
yes.
7, 8, 9, this is just to show.
Exactly.
What the vision
How,
would look like.
exactly, you can't go any further than
If
3 out.
barges were staged.
Right.
When you say 7, 8, 9, can they go 3
Oh, I.
rows? You can only do 2 rows back, right? You couldn't do a third.
Depending on size.
Got it.
Yeah.
And this is
This
about
was
100.
created, Randall had a thought that we would obstruct the lighthouse with the 3, so we wanted to show, and this is from the gazebo. Right in the center of the park.
Right, so it is possible if you were standing more like here, looking out,
Yeah, you wanted to
Maybe
go
a different-
50 feet in the water and that inlet you could obstruct.
right?
Right.
And is this about 100 feet out?
These are at 30, to take the one to 35.
Right, so that's about 100.
There you go.
But there is a limit on how far you can stage things, any marinas.
No,
Any questions about this?
well, while we're on the subject of barges,
Okay.
Okay, but any questions about when they are proposing to us about the maximum or amount of barges, like 6 that they had talked about last week?
well, no, not directly.
Okay, no, but you just said, I think the question was how many, and you said about 6.
Sure.
That's it,
We were trying, yeah,
Well, I think this is all on the topic of barges' visual impact, and I was saying that there was a potential safety hazard for kayakers, would have to go around or because of visibility. Your comment to me was that because it was a navigable waterway, that it wouldn't necessarily be under our purview.
It wouldn't be under the purview of the planning board.
You said
It would not be.
it would not, right.
Correct.
But health and safety is, and it's come to my attention that you did have an accident because you said to me, there's never been an accident, there's never been any barge issues. But over the weekend, did you not have an issue with a barge that tipped over and spilled gravel into the water? Is that?
There was a situation over the weekend where Colorado had to help, and Jared, who was there, can chime in, had to help a barge owner move a barge that Colorado determined was not suitable to take on a load at the barge.
How did that gravel then end up in the
Well,
Hudson?
it was stone. So the barge had holes in the bottom of the barge. So Colorado receives paperwork on all the barges. They received the paperwork. It was all up to snuff. Barge came in. It was beginning to be loaded. It was determined that this barge is not suitable. Just by the way, they can see that it's sitting in the water. So call the barge owner and say this barge has to be taken out of here. Barge took on water and then had to be removed by tug because Colorado doesn't.
Did the barge did it sink or did it tip over? Because there's a picture of it went over.
And how much stone spilled out?
We had just started to load it, so minimal amount of stuff.
It's a pretty big pile. I mean, there's a picture of it. Did everybody see the picture?
No.
It's a pretty big pile. there.
I can actually bring that up. I think I did.
Sure of what?
Well,
Yeah, so all government agencies with jurisdiction over the Hudson River were notified. The owner of the barge has to notify when they have to essentially come and get their barge. So Colorado helped by pointing to the sides, the south of the operation, like the loading operation, secured it. And now the owner has to come and get the barge.
what guarantee is there to the public that other other barges might not have similar defects or a similar issue occur where a barge would flip over into the Hudson?
Well, to be clear, the barge doesn't end over end, turn over.
I say don't, I say tip.
No, but just to be clear on the record, it's like, yeah, it slowly just sort of rolls. So it serves, it's the same safety. A barge upside down and a barge right side up serve this, it's the same.
But it wouldn't be if you were a kayaker that was going by it, right? If you were going by at the time in which the load became non-level and non-safe,
Sure.
you could have possibly been drawn into, because you have to work your way around this. If I'm in a kayak, which is a small craft, which is what I was talking about, I don't know, 2-3 weeks ago, you could have been impacted if you were near that barge when that accident happened.
And it could be the same way, could it not, if there was a larger boat that went by a kayaker, because it also has a tie that,
No, that's a wake is a totally different thing than a boat capsizing, or flipping and spilling, a lot of stone into the waterway.
Okay, I don't, when you say capsizes.
Hold on, let me
There's a picture, where's the picture? Okay, I want.
Give me a second, because I think this is important to talk about for a second here. Give me a moment.
Correct.
Well, it comes
That's
out
why
of the water.
DEC was notified, and US Coast Guard was notified immediately. And.
But that's
but
it's not your fault because you get the barges in.
Well, it is because they loaded the stone onto it. It didn't just sink on its own.
Let me finish, but you don't inspect the barges that come in.
Right.
Right, in other words, you don't inspect the barges that come in.
They're inspected by the Coast Guard. The Coast Guard.
Right, and you only know that they're defective once you start to load them, if they're defective.
Correct.
Okay, I just want to make that clear. It wasn't like you put it there or something. Okay.
No, but I'm also,
We then can't put it, the company has to come in and.
And sometimes it may stop your operation, because nothing can be.
I'm saying,
Oh, you gonna clean it up?
yeah, I'm looking for him. Just give me a second.
Looking at the picture, I don't see it. Okay, pull on Christian, will you share, or can you pull it up, Randall?
Yeah, I have it. Oh, here, I have it. Let me just find it.
In the-
Oh, this is just.
Oh, yeah, that's not. I know it's not high resolution photo, but that's the bottom of the
It
barge.
looked like
That's
the
not
stone
pilot
pile.
Yeah.
stone.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Wait a minute.
They were, there's stone in the background, it's a riprap on the bank of the river. This is a riprap right here.
So this is the bottom of the barge.
Here's my, where are my pictures?
Yeah, that's not the stone, that's from the barge.
And who turned that over?
Yeah.
Corrected that.
So my phone, that's why I got it. So my phone, which I'm using for this. Let me
You
try
guys
to figure
did
out how
not-
I
What
can.
is it?
You had
What
to
is
stop
it?
operation.
Give me a second.
Do you do a visual inspection before you load barges?
Yes,
You do? So what happened there?
well, we can't see underneath in the water.
But
Oh, a visual of what you could see.
Yeah.
But
That's where the paperwork comes in that says this, I don't know.
That this
do
is.
you have this pictures? Can you send it me, sir?
Yes, Christian, can you send that?
Because I need them on my computer, not on my phone, and my phone's for the meet, is being used in the meeting.
Get her to gossip.
What happened?
Don't you have it somewhere you can email it to yourself?
Many devices, I don't have to run at the same time in this meeting.
So
Only,
We do want to say, okay, let's let Randall.
hold
email
on,
it to yourself.
no, hold on, just,
Email it to yourself.
no, I can get it, fine,
Let him
fine.
get it, 'cause, you know, you don't want to register.
I know, I know.
Right.
I definitely need to be charging for this. This is a lot of extra work.
I'm sorry, it's getting.
Yeah, yeah, it's getting.
So hold on, let me just,
And then,
so this is, wait a minute, let me just,
That's pretty much our update.
how often does that, it doesn't happen that often, does it? No.
but in a comment, your comment to me just ironically was, it's never happened, and it's not an issue. And if it's a danger,
We still haven't had a safety issue.
it could potentially be a safety issue, because whether it was your direct fault, the barge came here as a result of your activities. And if someone would have gotten hurt, then regardless of whether it was the barge itself or how it got here, it came here because there was a gravel loading operation, and it was part of that. And if it had capsized, I'm gonna bring up the picture
Yeah,
right
thank
now.
you. Yes.
I mean, the reason that it's an issue for everybody is that the operation happens to be right next to our waterfront access. Where the kayakers do take off,
Where's my Zoom?
including me and my family. So it is, though the barge accident isn't your fault, it was an accident. It wouldn't have happened if there wasn't this industrial use right next to the waterfront, which is,
I want to see
you
it.
know, goes back to, in my opinion, the whole conversation here, which is how this is impacting our waterfront.
So I think it's twofold, right? If you're coming out in your kayak, three barges here, you're going to work your way around safely. At that point, just like if there's a tanker coming through, you're gonna move over.
Here we go.
Oh, here we go.
Here we
Right,
go.
and the entire Hudson River is open to commerce, boats, jet skis, there are speed limits.
So that's the bottom of the boat, you say?
Correct.
So the boat did flip over.
Oh,
Correct.
Right, so I'm saying, so if you were here, you were a kayaker here, and it was safe because you went by and you're just scenically looking at the barges, and that thing flipped over, that could have potentially been an issue.
No, probably, I
Make an
mean, it's
assumption.
very
It did.
slow, when a barge takes on water, it's extremely slow, it starts to, it starts to visually, obviously not be able to take a load.
Yes, but also, we rent on that shore, we're renting to kayakers who are novices. You know, they're not necessarily experts, they're people that go down on our river recreating for the day and maybe not having very much experience, and something like this. Now imagine something like this, 3 units out. If that was the last unit that occurred, so it was pretty far out, and maybe pull down another barge because they're docked together. When you put those 3 together or 6 together, they're docked together. So if one had an issue, potentially all of them would have an issue. Am I correct?
You're
See
grasping
that.
from straw.
That's possible.
But
No, I'm talking about safety, and you don't know all the potential issues that can happen. So
Yeah,
to
well,
say that
Hold it. One thing we're not gonna do is argue among ourselves, okay? That's, we're not gonna have that.
Having a conversation.
You're talking, Randall, and when you finish, then, okay, that's one, that we're not running a board like that, okay? Everybody's got an opinion, everybody's got a right to an opinion here, okay?
yes.
And a vote. We're not having that.
All I'm saying
Go
is
ahead.
that I would like to know more about what happened. There was a safety issue. It was a serious issue. And maybe it's hyperbole that, people could have gotten hurt. I believe there's a possibility, but thank God no one did. But the bottom line is that there was a serious incident on the dock, on your loading operations that occurred just last week. Is that correct?
No, I don't understand why.
You don't think a barge tipping over is a serious incident?
In what way is it serious? I mean, we notified the Coast Guard, notified DEC, they're handling it according to their regulations. I don't see how it is an issue.
Does
I think-
I mean, there's
anyone,
nothing in the record that makes me say otherwise. I don't understand. I'm trying to understand why it's an issue.
The tonnage of these barges, are they the 5,000 ton barge, 8,000 ton barge?
that was a 1,000, right?
Pretty close.
Yeah, you know why?
Okay.
Because the way it turned over well, anyway, anybody else have issues with that?
Well, I just want to
Just
say
that-
that in the last meeting, we discussed thinking about these operations as if they're operating at maximum capacity every single day, right? So if this, this is the first time this has happened, but there aren't that many barges there in a week, as there would be, or in a month, in a year, as there would be if you were operating at maximum capacity. So I do think Randall has a point here, that this can happen if you were operating at 10 times the volume you're operating now, it would likely happen much more often. And so understanding what the implications are, understanding what the possible safety impacts of this are, I think is a very valid concern.
So what are you saying is the impacts?
What is the safety issue?
What is the safety issue, Randall? I mean, unless anybody else on the board other than Gabby and Randall have a question about
I guess my,
this overturn? No? Okay,
Just to
so
add
what
to
is
that,
the,
Randall,
Well,
my conversation or my comment at the last meeting was there were no safety issues. I don't see this as a safety issue, but in the end of the day, we're providing you with a visual. Given that the planning board's purview is health and safety of those recreating in public facilities, that's within the city of Hudson. Planning board has no authority over the Hudson River. So we're not going to agree that permit conditions nor permit conditions can be put in the permit that govern anything on the Hudson River. I mean, it's interstate commerce.
Okay, first of all, that's actually
Just-
true.
It is true.
Okay.
And so
let him finish,
Moving-
please, Gabby.
moving on from that, it's not even,
Okay,
it just,
Before we
yeah,
move
so
on.
it's,
okay,
the
that's Gabby.
planning board has absolutely no authority to regulate that. We're giving you a visual so that you can see it because you asked for it. If it wastes the planning board's time going over barges over and over again, it's not something, it's not a part of this application. It's completely outside the scope of the application.
but, how much is it?
Yeah, I'm just.
But health and safety is, for you to say to me that the fact that a multi-ton barge sinking or tipping over is not a safety issue, it's just the regular course of business, seems to be dismissive of a real concern.
Okay,
Any boat sinking in the Hudson River, I think, is a concern.
But it's not a concern of the city of Hudson Planning Board. It's a
That's-
concern of-
But it's a concern of the
what
state of
exactly
what's
is the
happening at the
concern?
dock.
Somebody
Well,
just,
I now have a
ahead.
concern about the statement that was just made, that it's outside of our scope. If that is not true. And this brings me back to a lot of issues that came up last week. Starting with the idea of scope, which came up in two separate ways last week. One was vested rights and non-conforming use, and the other was the LWRP. And I've looked into this a lot, and I have a very different take on things than we arrived at last week. So I don't know what time it is.
okay, but before we go, does anyone else on this planning board feel that this is a safety concern under our provision?
I think I need to understand, Randall, can you explain if there was a kayaker going down the river, how are they impacted by a barge that's sinking? Like, what is can you
And how are
explain the
we-
safety issue?
I mean,
How are we? How does
It's not,
it
there's
apply
nothing,
to what?
my direct concern would be if you're next to a large boat that is sinking. And again, I don't know the rate of it, of what rate it sink, but you do have the potential of that causing an undertow of, as that boat is submerging in the water, it will pull a small vehicle, a small watercraft down with it.
But,
So,
okay.
Randall, I have a
Go
question.
ahead.
So potentially any barge could cause that safety issue, correct?
I don't know. I don't know enough about it. I've never heard this happen, so.
Potentially any barge there could cause that issue. At any time.
in the Hudson, any boat.
No,
No, where?
specifically Calaruses.
Yeah, this is true.
So how do we control that? What is if this is a safety issue, what is it that we can do to remedy? it?
That's
So-
that's a good question. See, again, I just was made
And
aware
I
of
would
this.
prefer if you ask your attorney to give you advice on the scope of your authority, because.
That was my next-
That there are no conditions that you could put on the Hudson River.
But we're not talking about, but for us to understand
put conditions on your operation.
Right, for us to understand if there was,
What conditions do you
You
think
cannot
we
put
could put
conditions
on
on.
your operation?
Like to talk about.
Okay,
I mean.
Let me-
does anyone
Talk to your
else,
attorney about it. I can't give you the.
okay, does anyone else on this board?
I just feel that, let me just frame it. I just feel like, again, this just came to my attention just the other day. I just feel like it's important to understand more about what happened so that we would know the extent of if there is a danger or not. There may not be a danger. What you're saying may be totally correct.
What
But I'm
saying,
saying, all I'm
whether there's a danger
saying,
or not, it's outside the purview of the land use planning board to or to regulate safety concerns on the Hudson River that are not in the city of.
but this was tied to your dock. It wasn't just happening randomly on the Hudson River. It was connected to your dock.
Also,
And part of, you were working on it. It wasn't just a random thing that just happened. You were working with your conveyor belt, right? Loading gravel from a pile to the, to the vessel. So for us to understand better if there are inherent dangers, because I didn't think there were until this happened, I think it's important to understand if there are inherent dangers so that we could address them in conditions or whatever else we could put from the land operation that feeds those barges.
Okay,
But again,
we're gonna
you cannot
ask-
put conditions on
Okay.
our.
I want to ask the question, what inherent dangers, other than you was talking about the kayak boat being taken down with the barge, is that what you're saying?
Right, but I'm saying, but we don't know enough about what just happened. And I'm interested to have a report on what really happened so that we could better know. We have to make decisions
Would
on,
that answer the kayak?
but let me just, we're making decisions basically on saying that we're gonna allow 9,000, no, it's 9,000, I'm sorry, 923,000, almost 1 million tons of gravel to be loaded. That's the max
Yeah.
amount that you could do annually, and that's what we're deciding on.
That's not the max.
That would be the
Maximum
maximum,
amount is 142 truck trips.
Right,
From the
which-
quarry to the dock,
right?
but also, asphalt millings come in through the dock, goods and raw materials.
I was just talking about, I was just talking about, now you're bringing up there with me more. I was just talking about the gravel, tons of gravel.
Raw material?
Tons of aggregate
Aggregate.
coming from the dock.
The
Right.
142 trips doesn't matter what's in the truck.
Right, but but the trucks, but the trucks
Port
were,
is open
right,
outside of just Colaruso's quarry dock for materials to come in. If somebody wants to move something like we did with the transformers, and we need
Right.
to bring it up.
so
to the
potentially,
code.
so then over 1 million. So then over 1 million tons, I'm sorry, yeah, over 1 million tons of, if you were operating at full capacity, 142 trucks, the average tonnage was, I think, 300, was it 3,500 tons per truck. Is that right? Per truck trip. I don't know how much your trucks,
Are you
I don't know
talking
how
about
much
for
your
the
trucks
daily?
The
have.
amount of material, how is that relevant to the application?
All I'm saying is that what we're talking about is that amount of material handling is going to be happening on the dock, in which we are contemplating a permit for. And I think our conditioning is really built and concerns are on health and safety. And we, I believe, need to know more about what is happening so that we can make an intelligent decision before saying, hey, we're going to do this. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying it's good or
Right, and
bad.
I just explained the situation. There's nothing else. I mean, do you have another specific question we can answer about it? I don't.
Oh, that's just, that's
Okay,
you telling,
Randall, again, we need to understand how this becomes a safety issue where it's under our jurisdiction to make a decision. And we're not going back over this. I mean, I hate to give my opinion first, but I don't see where it is. But is there anyone else on the board that sees what Randall see or want to go any further with this? Because right now, I don't see it.
I guess my question is if there is a safety issue and every barge has this potential, what can we do? We don't know which barge is going to have this issue. And I don't know.
They don't know either.
What did they do?
And I don't know how, there's no other solution than saying you can't do it at all.
No,
Yeah, we can't
we
do
can
that.
having.
Limiting it, what, so it reduces the
Yeah, it
chances,
reduces
doesn't
the
happen, but it
probability.
could still happen.
But a reduction of the
And
probability.
I don't know if we have the capability. I don't know
No.
if we can change the 140 trips.
It's
and what
going
they're
to be,
bringing in.
yeah, it's going to be a decision by us, majority rule, because we have difference of opinions. So it has to be a majority rule, okay? Yes,
I have a question for Randall.
Yes,
You're renting, kayaks, correct?
correct. I mean, that was
To
scenario.
Novice operators,
Well,
correct?
I'm not, but people do.
Well, you said novice.
Yes,
You said novice.
it does happen, yeah.
Okay, so you're sending out novice operators into the Hudson River, okay?
A commercial ship.
I think there's, I think we have a
Said it.
mixed use waterfront. We have a deep water port next door,
Mhm.
and we're gonna do our part to stay safe. And I think they need to be educated as well.
Well,
In my opinion, that is not safe to take a kayak into the river, period.
Well, but you know, there's a kayak place there. I'm not saying I would do that. I have a kayak. I haven't done it, but I think that there are people who do that every weekend.
And I think they need to be educated of the deep water port, and we're gonna do everything on our part, to stay safe.
And I
Okay.
really want to make sure this, it continues to move forward. So if the board could give us some direction as to whether there are further questions on this, or whether you're okay moving forward. Our position is that we're not accepting it or
yeah.
any.
We're gonna draw a poll on this. Are we okay with
River
moving
is not-
forward on this or just, constantly asking about the barge and safety issues? I don't see. I don't see where, it is a safety issue. When I'm finished, I'll give you that
Well, before we do a
opportunity.
poll about whether we're moving
Let
forward.
me finish, please. Thank you. Okay, so, because it's gonna be a majority vote. Because everybody has a different opinion, 7 of us. Okay? So what's your question before I start pulling?
We keep saying everybody has a different opinion, but there is a legally binding zoning code here that I would like for us all to have at least some consensus about what we think it means. And you have just said over and over and over again, Mr. Moran, that we have no right to impose conditions on your operations. I have found a lot of evidence that suggests otherwise. So I would like to address that now.
Okay, can I ask you a question? Is there anything that you're about to present? Did it come from any one of our attorney or,
No,
okay, where's that information
I
coming?
did some research online using case law and New York State law.
And see, that's the mistake that was made before. That's what
Well,
got.
I'm-
Well, we're gonna let you, yeah, but let me finish what I got to say. That's what happened last time. When the consultants, the attorneys were not used and everybody was voicing their own opinion. You can voice your opinion, but I'm just letting everybody know this is how we got here. So go ahead.
Well, I'm very welcoming of our attorneys weighing in on this. They didn't last time, so I did my own research using the internet, which has an incredible wealth of information. And if anything I'm about to state now is wrong, then make it be known and I'll let the internet know. Last time you said, and this is a quote, pre-existing non-conforming use is a constitutional right, so no city code can extinguish your pre-existing non-conforming use, which is the reason it exists. So if you exist and they enact the zoning code, they cannot limit your existing business through that zoning code. All this did was trigger a CUP permit review for adding additional conditions on the use, not the operations, which the planning board does not have purview over. That, in my research, is inaccurate, and I will read to
Well,
you.
you need to share that with your attorney, but I can't engage.
Well, okay,
in
Right.
so,
a
so
legal
like, I
discussion.
mean, zoning codes can amortize non-conforming uses, but it results in a taking of property. Our code doesn't amortize the use, so it's not relevant discussion. If you're saying, can a zoning law do that? Absolutely. There's all sorts of ways to write zoning law. But does the city of Hudson zoning law do that? No.
You're saying the city of Hudson zoning law says that we cannot impose conditions on the operations at the dock.
Whoa, I didn't say that at all. You're asking me about non-conforming uses generally. I've already said multiple times, you must impose conditions on the operation as part of the conditional use permit. That is what this board is doing right now.
But every time we talk about doing that, Mr. Luann says we cannot impose conditions on
And
the
they
operation.
say what they say.
But
They were not listening to them.
He's not a lawyer.
Right, thank you.
But he's never corrected. So we're having a discussion.
I'm not gonna
But
sit
you're
here and
not
argue with
finished
the
the
lawyer.
point. We're having a discussion about what we can and can't do. You've asked a question tonight, but what can we do about the number of barges what can we do about safety?
Okay.
And some of us are saying, well, we can limit the tonnage that they're importing and exporting. And Mr. Ruan is saying, no, you can't.
Okay, we're not gonna listen to him. So that's what you're saying?
But let me finish my point, though.
What's the problem? I've heard that we've already agreed to 140 trips.
But that's a
because of that
different
road
permit.
they
And
put
not
in.
the
But that's a
tonnage.
different permit. They requested that the haul road permit be separated from the dock operations permit. I don't know why they did that. You can ask them.
It was
That
illegal.
is a.
So,
That is a separate
let her
permit.
talk. Gabby,
So the dock operations have nothing to do with what the haul road permit has already approved.
so,
They can bring 142 loads of gravel to the public park, to the dock gate. They can bring it up Warren Street. They can do whatever they want with it. But what they do at the dock, those operations are what we're here to talk about.
so,
And if we continually are told that we have no purview over the operations at the dock, and nobody is saying that's actually not true, it makes these discussions go nowhere. We're going in circles.
so wait a minute.
Memos
wait.
on this issue. So I do take issue with you saying, I've never told you this. We've had memos and we've had attorney-client sessions. But it's not my role during a public meeting to just fight with TJ back and forth. Everyone here
Or
at this
you.
point knows what the scope of your review is, right? I mean,
I
if you have
know it
questions, you
is.
can ask me, but I just take issue with you implying that like somehow you haven't been advised on what this
So-
application.
So
listen,
Gabby,
no,
what is your, can you just tell us, is your question to limit tonnage, which will eliminate maybe the possibility of making a safer operation? Is that,
That was.
is that what you're
I would like to
okay,
make,
but is
right
that
now,
the
I'm-
question? Is that,
Right now, I'm talking about scope. So last
agree.
time I was told that the LWRP is not legally binding.
Correct.
That is also something I would like to discuss, because that is a huge part of the zoning code, and the scope of our review is very different if the LWRP is valid or invalid. And based on the research I've done, it is incredibly valid.
Did you look at the research I sent you?
yeah, did you?
The statement you sent me?
Yes.
Yes, I did,
And
and
so-
I did further research.
Okay, so, I mean,
So-
we could have
That's how
done this
we got here
offline, but we
before.
can do it now, so let's hear it.
No, we can't do it offline because everybody is very invested in this and wants to understand the process. And when they don't understand the process, they have a lot of questions that then need to be answered. So I don't understand what doing it in private is.
We can do it. I mean, I think it's well known that we don't have a filed LWRP map because the people that opposed the project the last time lost the lawsuit on that issue, right? So it's there in the public.
The LWRP was adopted by the city as part of the zoning code
Correct.
in
It's
two
in
thousand
the
and
zoning.
eleven. The map was, I've been told it was never submitted to the state. Whether or not it was submitted or rejected is up for debate, but I actually don't think it's relevant. There is a New York State coastal map which defines the coastal areas of New York State, and Hudson is part of that map. And by default, the LWRP's map is that map. So
No,
Why is the
the-
LWRP relevant?
because it's in the zoning
Mr.
code.
T,
I just want to keep.
It's in our zoning code.
please.
And you're saying everybody
gonna add to
understands
this.
what the purview is and what the scope is. I was never told by anybody the LWRP was invalid. That I was told last meeting. So I was confused by that because it's in the zoning code. What?
It was
Okay,
right.
so I still,
It was in the zoning code. So I've gone and I've talked to the president of the common council, asking to help me understand the zoning code. I've done an extensive amount of research, and from what I have gathered, and I can, I have a lot of information here that I can quote, it is valid. What is in the zoning code is legally binding.
so, yes, okay, so again, the zoning law is adopted, the language in the zoning law is the LWRP language. There's no question that the zoning law has LWRP provisions, right? I think we can all accept that.
Okay, but are they legally binding or are they just guidance?
So, it's just like a district, right? The LWRP provisions are triggered when there's a project in the LWRP area,
Yes.
and that's a defined term. So when you go to that definition, the LWRP area is the area on the LWRP map on file with the Secretary of State. That didn't happen, so there's no LWRP area. So even though we have provisions, there's no area that triggers those provisions. That's been the issue.
The area is the coastal area.
defined as the area shown on the city's LWRP map on file with the Secretary of State, and they don't have a map.
No, there's also the coastal area as defined by the New York State coastal map.
A coastal map is not an LWRP, right? I don't know what you're looking at. I'm telling you that the Secretary of State does not have, we've checked, we wrote
I
to them.
understand the
years ago.
Secretary of State doesn't have the map, but that is not necessary for the LWRP to be legally binding in terms of the zoning code.
Again, let me just back up. The LWRP applies when there's an event, a triggering event in an LWRP area. If I go to the definitions, which I mean, just give me a minute. I'll tell you. Definitions. Okay, so it's Article 13, terms defined, right? So go to Article 13 and I go to. Go down. Local waterfront revitalization area or coastal area, defined term in the zoning law. It's defined as that portion of the New York State coastal waters and adjacent shorelands located within the boundaries of the city of Hudson, as shown on the coastal area map on file with the Secretary of State and as delineated in the City of Hudson Local Waterfront Revitalization Program. So we wrote to the Secretary of State when this project came in, and I said, hey, where's your map? Give me your map. And they said, we don't have one on file.
Yeah, and
So
I have,
we interpret this now to mean that there is no local waterfront revitalization area. So although we have a procedure for reviewing projects in a local waterfront revitalization area, we don't have a local waterfront revitalization area as defined in our zoning law.
well, I would like further clarification on this because much contradicts that. And I have the map that you're asking for, which is the state coastal map. And there is a defined LWRP area, which is the entirety of the city of Hudson, which is in the coastal area.
That's,
And right here it says it, the state official coastal zone boundaries map and the landward coastal area boundary data set clearly delineates Hudson's waterfront as part of the state coastal area.
you know,
These maps incorporated by reference in Executive Law Article 42 and the state's approved coastal management program define the coastal area independently of any local WRP map filings. Consequently, Hudson zoning provisions governing actions within the coastal area remain operative because a state designated coastal boundary area exists within the city limits.
I don't know what you're reading from,
right.
but if you
And-
could share it, that would be helpful.
Right.
Okay.
And that's
I mean, is
not-
that someone's interpretation or are you reading?
Okay,
from a
But
document?
what I'm
Another
saying
thing
is
I
if
wanna-
the LWRP is not valid in the zoning code, then somebody needs to
Okay.
take that to a judge to have it.
Okay, one of the things I wanna say too.
Right? I mean, we can't just decide that the zoning code is invalid.
We're not
What-
signing, we're definitely not saying zoning code
This
is
is gonna
valid.
be-
We're just saying as defined, it's not applicable to this process today.
And one of the things that
Right.
the planning board was assigned an attorney and a consultant. And if we have members that don't want, it's like taking fiction and trying to make it into facts. If we don't want, I mean, this is how we got here, by not listening, by not taking the advice of the professionals. I mean, we all can think we're professionals, but that's why they're here.
No.
You know, in a sense, and it's not, I'm saying questions, but
I just
it
don't
doesn't
know-
matter what you say, it doesn't seem like it's accepted, okay? And that has to kind of be critiqued.
It's
Okay.
okay. I'm happy to continue the conversation. I don't know what you're reading from, so I can't comment off the cuff on it.
Right.
I'm explaining
Haley.
what the analysis is that.
Kelly,
Well, one thing I would say is that I didn't go to law school, but I would refer to the expertise of someone who's had to pass the bar in New York, which is one of the most difficult things to pass in the United States, I think, apart from California. But I mean, I have family members who are in the medical profession, and it really, it's disappointing when somebody goes online, and there's a point to this, I promise. And they all of a sudden read some internet site which is dubious and not peer reviewed and presume to know more than the medical profession. So this seems to be what's updating here, and I would take a position in the chair that is something that we may want to kind of work with.
right,
That's
and
what
I'm
I'm saying.
trying, because this is how we got here. Okay, I've been on this board since 2020. This is how we got here. By not taking the advice of the professionals. We are not professionals. We read, we interpret, we ask questions. Is there any more questions from any other person on this board? About the situation?
So just very, very clear here. The zoning code that stipulates that the LWRP needs to be reviewed and that we need to, the purview of that, the scope of this review must include an LWRP review, you're saying is not actually applicable, is not valid.
No, I'm saying those provisions are valid, but show me that this project is in an LWRP area. They're valid in an LWRP area as defined in the zoning law.
Right, but you're saying there is no LWRP area, so I'm saying that thus you're saying that the zoning code that says there is an LWRP area is invalid? If that's the case, I would love the ZBA to clarify that, because it's in the zoning code, so unless a judge says you have to take this out of the zoning code, it doesn't make sense to me, this argument.
To try to answer this question and not to add to the argument.
Don't,
back and
no,
forth.
no, no,
But-
no, no,
Yes.
no. We don't.
I
No, don't answer.
Like, I've.
Let the attorney
To go
do
through
the
the
talking.
LWRP and use it as a
I know, but
document in any,
our attorney.
right? It's something that the city said they wanted, the city adopted it. It's not, it doesn't carry the force of law, in my opinion, because there's no area that it is being applied to. But sure, you can look at it, you can see if you're consistent with the LWRP policies.
But so you're saying that it doesn't carry the force of law, even though it is in the zoning code, which is legally binding. This is the part that
Abby, this is what you're struggling with. Okay,
Yeah.
let's say there's zoning like districts, right? Let's say there's a green belt district, an R10 and R3, and you had a whole bunch of regulations for the R3. But for whatever reason, you look at the zoning map and there is no R3. Then those regulations, while in the code, don't apply anywhere because there's no R3 zoning district.
So you're saying there's no LWRP district area,
That's what I'm saying.
right?
Well, but it's in place.
And I'm saying that I disagree with that, so I'm asking if there can be clarification, like, does the zoning board?
She's clarified it like 4 different ways.
Okay, we're gonna
It's still in
vote.
the
Do
zoning
anyone
code.
else on this board need clarification?
That's the problem
Okay.
with laws, it can be interpreted many ways. And on this board, we have to listen to her interpretation, and she's given you countless different interpretations. The map which it refers to does not exist, so it's incomplete.
Okay, we're gonna take a vote on this.
Zoning code, so somebody else had a different interpretation.
I mean, if you look at it enough long, you will see that this sort of thing happens unfortunately frequently, where there's something that was there that's no longer there, and it's confusing and it's misleading. Well, and we have a guide here and she's telling you what it is, and then you keep asking her in the sense of you wanting her to change her answer. She's not gonna change her answer. And I would look bad if she did at this point.
I'm not saying don't change her answer.
You keep asking the same thing and she's answering it.
No, it's called she's not accepting the answer. And this is something that happens. You can find anything on the internet that's going to support your decision when you want to make a point. So right now, I'm asking for a vote. How many of us, are clear on this? Okay? We're not taking public comments.
The internet, I just
Okay,
want to
I
clarify
wanna
that I'm
know-
not finding an opinion on the internet. I'm looking at boundary maps, I'm looking at coastal area maps, I'm looking at
Doesn't matter
executive
what you
law.
say, you're not going, how many of us want to move on? Okay, move on. Brandon, move on.
Yeah.
Okay, Brandon's on camera now.
Yes.
We got the young comes back
The
and
reason that it's relevant in my
we are
opinion
moving
is
on, Gabby.
the reason that, in my opinion, it's
I
relevant
understand.
in terms of this barge conversation is because we're repeatedly being told, like,
We're gonna move
what
on,
can be
Gabby.
done about it and why is it under the scope of our review if it's in the Hudson River? If the LWRP is law, it states very clearly that it wants to encourage and protect water enhanced activities like kayaking. So whether or not the LWRP is law, to me, is very relevant in terms of this barge and kayaking question. So that's my.
Okay, so we decided to move on. We
As
got
long
enough
as we're
votes for
talking
that.
about maps.
What's next?
As long as we're talking about maps, I also found a map. and
Matt,
it's showing states.
Gabby, could you we moved on, so now we're going to the next thing.
But-
You can ask the question after we go to the next thing, at the end, I'll give you a chance.
But we're talking about maps and the river, why can't I ask my
Right,
question
we've already
now?
said we're moving on, the majority said.
We are
we're
moving on, this is a
Yes,
different
no.
point.
I wanna get the next from them, okay? Can't run this board.
I'm not trying
Seven
to
of
run
us.
it, I'm trying to ask.
You're being disrespectful as a member of the board, so just calm down. Let's move on.
Calm down.
Why not?
We've been told many times that the river is not part
Calm
of the
down.
city, and I,
We're gonna move on.
The city is, okay, I can say that. The city boundaries do go into the river, but that's different than having zoning authority over the portion of the city boundary in the river.
okay, how is that, that's, I would like to understand that distinction.
Okay,
And so that's subject to.
Then why does the city boundary go into the river?
That's gonna be the
That's
municipal
boundary.
boundary. So for purposes of drawing municipal boundaries, like, who's gonna take jurisdiction over the bridge, right? Half the bridge, Falls go to Hudson, half the bridge, Hatchville, or however they break. There's a municipal boundary. But that's different. The laws of the Hudson River, they did not zoning.
any more, we had taken a vote, majority to move on. So you with that. With it, let's move, okay. All right, so.
So, went over lighting, we'll submit the updated lighting plan, updated landscaping plan, we will do the black the first green, like the board.
If you can, yeah.
That was the decision. We'll get that, you'll have the structural report, and we hope that ties up the remaining issues so that the board's in a position to act on this application.
Okay. Are we all in agreement with that? Yes, yeah, okay, yes.
Yes, about what?
Yeah, so we can move on to this, move on. About the slides, so we'll come back with every.
I just.
Right. For the next meeting. We wanna move on. We wanna keep this moving. Okay.
Are going to respond to the public comment? The public comment?
They did that. They did that, Gabby. It's in there, it's in there, 70-page item.
Well, you're some of them, but certainly not all.
We responded, we did our best efforts to respond to relevant material public comments, which is.
And we don't,
Yeah,
we can't make them respond to every, but they did respond to. Okay, so. See you next, on the 28th.
Especially.
Especially.
And that is at City Hall.
Yes, that's gonna be a single fix. Okay, thank you. Now, the next item is old business. Committee reports. Any committee report? Okay, escrow. First, I wanna say, Mary and Walter Chatham we had given the project of Hudson, what's it called, Hudson Avenue? Hudson Avenue, gave them for $10,000. They have since contacted us and asked that they have it reduced to 5. So we're asking, you're done. How about?
I think we're done.
You're done?
Let me check, I think it's kind of.
Crystal Pack did just email me, thought I had accepted it back a month ago, so I will call her.
Okay, so, get back to us.
Okay.
And, right now, we'll be willing to go to, let them do the 5,000. Right, okay, so, because they had asked, can they reduce it? So can we get a resolution? Can I get a motion to reduce the resolution for 612 Hudson Avenue to $5,000 instead of 10?
I make a motion.
I said that.
All in favor? Any object? Okay, what's next? Escrow. Yeah, escrow.
Maybe put together. IDA.
No. There was something else about the bills. Okay, I just wanna say about the minutes, they have to be revised. So we're not approving. Okay, one of the things we had voted on when it comes to minutes, that they are reviewed. And not verbatim, because if you don't quote one, So we back.
So we
for
back
revision,
for revision,
and waiting for
and
that.
waiting
to come
for that
up
to
with
come up with
executive,
executive.
so that's the minute.
So that's the minute.
Now,
Gene's going to escrow.
you're
I'm
not?
not.
Okay, how about the bill?
I don't have an escrow report because treasurer's office did not send it to me, so I can't make a report on it. But the bills, I got two bills, Martin and Lugudas. Lugudas. What is it? Lugudas. Put a J in there instead of a G. Martin and Lugudas. Martin and Lugudas, dated 10/14/2025. $6,960.
Can I get a motion?
No,
How much was it?
6,000.
$6,960.
But they have
Like three or four bills going to different people.
Yeah, three separate bills. You want them, you wanna know what they are?
No.
Okay, you have to say for the record.
No,
That's how we say it.
Okay.
Linda gets it, yeah.
And then the other one, RCP.
Rawson, Shopson, and Shop.
Dated 10/6/25, $4,056.
Can I get a motion to approve the bills for payment?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Any
Any
opposed?
opposed? Good.
Now,
Now,
can I get a motion to adjourn this meeting?
I definitely.
9:31.
Second.
Any opposed?
No.
Good night, everyone. Thank you for coming. We'll see you on the 28th, right?